The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stunner! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome to the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in at Pat's desk with the boys at the Thunderdome. Pat, he's down in Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Georgia, Texas. Football! It's what's happening. Pat's down in Atlanta already. I don't know if the PA announcer is still going on in the background, Pat, but you're looking good. How is Atlanta doing, and how's the vibes for that game tomorrow?
AJ, thank you so much for driving out to Indianapolis and hosting from that particular chair. You do a fantastic job every time you have to do it. I'll have you know that we were talking about the size and shape of your cranium this morning in the game day production meeting, and obviously it was nothing but positive things. Have you guys seen the shape of Scatterboo, the running back from Arizona State's head? Have you guys seen this thing?
Huge. Never seen it without a helmet, no.
Yeah, no.
Buddy, find it. We got a thumper. This guy, we're talking, hey, this thing is a...
He is like the, what's it called again? Guardian. He's got a natural guardian cap to him.
He is built for damage.
Love it.
He is I can see why he's so impossible to tackle. Literally, I saw a photo of him, and I don't want to give anything away, but there's something coming tomorrow about him, and I think it's like going to be a piece that like really identifies who this dude is. All I had to do was look at one photo. Look, he has a buzz cut in the photo I saw, so you actually see the hair is kind of, I think, covering this thing up. It is we are talking about thump. Cannot wait for that. So we talked about your head, obviously, and many other people's heads. And then Matt Garrett, who is, I don't even know what level. He's up there for game day. They have all these titles. Everybody has these titles, everybody, and I respect all of them. Okay, I respect all of them, and I'm thankful for all of them. But Matt Garrett runs program, I think. But then somebody else would say this person runs program, and then, there's one of those. He has a massive dome as well, you see. So, but his head, the shape of it is like for an executive. It's like the forehead is not as wide, but the brain very big, huge. Very, very, very small. So it's like he has a big executive head, if that makes sense. You, John Kuhn,
sure.
Scatterboo, many other, Cam Hayward, basically All-Star, I assume. You could just probably go through all the big thumpers. There is a certain dimensional frame of the head, and if I was ever a general manager, I would add that into, the whole. Who do we want on our team? Who do we not want on our team? Just that is a compliment, not a disservice to anybody there. Now, with that being said, it is awesome down here. Okay, I don't love that the back seats are red, that this is red, and that my face is in between them. Because it is, it's going to get tomatoey on my face. It looks like today. But the buzz in any of these SEC championships, and I've been very lucky to be down here for a few of them. And you talk to all the people in the SEC, winning the SEC, and SEC ESPN bias aside, and there's going to be a conversation from Coach Saban tomorrow about why these people love their college football so much more than maybe everywhere else in the country. Not everywhere, but they love it. It's because there wasn't any professional sports down here. Coach Saban was talking about this morning, and these people treat it as an actual religion because it's been traditions that have been passed down from family to family to family to family. So whenever you talk about these two teams representing, especially Texas coming in for the first year, Georgia winning the SEC means it is very, very important in discussion around livelihoods down here, professions, careers, you name it. It's like being the best in the SEC means something more, feels like, to more people down here. cheapest ticket, I think, and SeatGeek has the stats. Cheapest ticket to get into this SEC, I think it's like $100 and some bucks, like $140 for way up in the top somewhere. You know, it is, yeah. That's the hottest. I believe that's the average or whatever the case is. But like the cheapest one is like $140 or something like that. There's $20 tickets right now for Big Ten championship. $35 tickets for the Big Ten championship, and that's not just because it's Texas, Georgia. That's because like this game is very meaningful to these people, like very, very. And everybody that talks about it treats it as such, you know? Like Saban, obviously, the way he talked about this particular game versus even like national championships in like other games and the buzz, there's just like a palpable buzz, they say, because it means so much. So it's like getting dropped in the middle of that as a guy who's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania every single year is obviously awesome because all the big time sponsors throughout the entire year of the SEC are here too, you know? So like, all the businesses that have been involved with college ball this year kind of come in here. So it has a heightened Super Bowl type feeling business-wise, but then all the fans that buy the actual tickets, like these are they'll fill this place. This place will be 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be like it'll be like an actual college football environment. It won't be like a bowl game played at another place. So I think you add all that in, I feel incredibly grateful to be here. And they got the Dr. Pepper practice happening back here. I don't know if we're allowed to show it. I think we showed it last year. I don't remember the give and take about it.
Wait, they let those guys practice?
Have to.
I think there's like a rehearsal. I think there's like a walkthrough on how we do this, how the clock is, where you're going to enter the field, you know, how you're going to, and I think there's some Dr. Pepper bigwigs.
Oh, wow. Head docs. 23 flavors.
I just want, what's his, Little Pep, Baby Pep, Tiny Pep? What was that little pepper? The little Dr. Pepper guy that sang in the commercials? What was that?
God.
Do you remember that long hair rock
Like
star?
50s? I don't remember.
No, yeah, it's the
Recent.
sweet one. The little guy.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That little guy. The little guy that sings.
Dr. Pepper.
What are you talking about? You
Little
don't-
Sweet.
Little Sweet. Okay.
Little
What are you
Sweet, yeah.
talking-
Little
don't
Sweet,
know.
that's
What are
it.
you talking about? What do you mean you don't know?
I
Open
don't.
your
I am
eyes.
unaware. You're right. I get.
And the voice was Justin Guarini, I believe, of
American Idol.
No,
American
don't
Idol
you
fame.
do
Great
that.
pipes. What?
That's not his. That wasn't his. That wasn't Lil Sweet's voice.
What's wrong with him?
I believe it was not. Yeah.
That's Lil Sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, this
Okay.
guy. Okay, I thought you meant like an animated situation.
Nick Kroll.
What is your problem, AJ? You didn't know who Lil Sweet was?
I didn't
People
know
are
that
crazy.
was Lil Sweet. I thought you were talking about some animated character or something. I apologize.
There's a chance. I do not know for sure because I've not talked to these people. I literally just walked out and looked. There is a chance that the person that hired an advertising agency to come up with Lil Sweet for them is out here on this field right here.
Wow.
And that is that's a big deal. Hey,
Whoa.
shout out Dr. Pepper.
SEC
Lil
difference.
23 flavors.
And a little sweet. I did forget that we're in Dr. Pepper throw season, though. You know,
Pumped for that. Not so much.
we
throw,
don't.
but
Once again, I don't think we should show it. I think there is potential Dr. Pepper suit competitions happening right now.
Okay.
A little team building, you think, in the executive ranks?
are you sure we can't show it?
They're taking
Just a quick. You get a quick.
quick. Yeah,
quick.
do a little quick.
Cover mine.
Little quick see.
Little zoom, quick zoom.
Little quick see. Little quick see. See suits, balls, pictures.
We get
he's
one
gonna
here.
punt the ball through.
Is that little sweet? No.
Little Sweet.
That looks like
Little
that
Sweet.
might be Big Sweet. His Papa. Papa Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Picture
we would like
time.
to say thank you to Dr. Pepper for being such a big part of college ball.
Are they chest passes?
So that's the big convo. So I remember there was a story about the chest pass that I learned from a Dr. Pepper person at this exact game maybe 1 year ago. There's some story behind it that's like very like why the chest pass started, who started it, how it.
Because you don't know how to throw a football? Is that why?
So you're gonna. I'm not even gonna tell the story now because what you just said.
I assume that's if I can't throw, I'm going to throw a chest pass.
Yeah, but like I think there was a chance somebody couldn't maybe, and like
Yeah, shoulder rehab
Then
or
it-
something.
yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, but nonetheless, there's a story behind it because it was the first thing I brought up. What you said there. First thing I go, they go, hi, blah 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 from Dr. Pepper. I go, sweet. Hey, we got to back that up a little bit, don't we? Chest passes can only, you know. And then they told me the whole story.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, of course.
Makes sense.
And that just happened right here, too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What I just did, what happened with the actual people. So obviously an asshole, but it's an honor to be here. Great game last night, AJ Hawk. And listen, you, me, Coach Pagano, get a push.
Yep.
Now, one half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone. We all took 3.
Uh-huh.
Okay. because that is what ESPN Bet had it.
Yep.
What was the line on that game last night at kickoff? Because AJ, I think you're sensing what I'm trying to do here. I think we should steal a win. Me, you, and Chuck from last night.
Last thing I saw was 3.5.
Let me see what it was at kickoff. Yeah, when you
Maybe
guys,
4 even.
When you guys made your picks, ESPN Bet was 3. Every other book was at 3.5. Let me see if it moved before kickoff at ESPN Bet. I thought it did.
Okay. We should steal that. We'll take that. So we got to win. That's
feels
awesome.
good.
And
Feels good.
And congrats to the Lions pickers for them getting a push too. So we win, they get a push.
Yeah.
Life is good. But if I'm a Lions fan, I have to think to myself, damn, it is awesome to be a Detroit Lions fan. Just the way they go about winning, the way they understand their situation. Whenever you hear MCDC talk after the game about the defense, man, and how he knew what the offense was going to have to do, but he understood the situation and the reality of the injuries on the defensive side, the way Aaron Glenn cooked up pressure on Jordan Love, the way they just went about winning that game and going for it on fourth down, obviously big topic of conversation. That pass right there should be the big topic of conversation, to be clear. They did that like 7 times, right? The same place, seemingly, right there to the Green Bay Packers defense. And I don't know if that's just a Lions specialty, but that felt like that was happening all night long during the big plays. But speaking of big plays, big old gut sack, okay, that's with a G, on MCDC doing what he did. He goes for it on fourth down, obviously gives up a touchdown because he's deep in his own end. Everybody thinks this guy's a dipshit. He's not going to be able to do it. Then, when the game is tied, let's win this thing. 30-some seconds left, 4th and a half. A yard. And they call timeout, let the clock run all the way down, called timeout. Jared Goff runs over to the sideline, and he literally asks for a ball to throw it. So I'm like, wait, is he selling that they're still going for this? Is he trying to? No way they are going to go for this. Why would you even risk a bobbled snap? Why would you even risk your quarterback getting tripped on the way back? Why would you even do any of that? And I think it's 100% because MCDC told the boys, hey, our defense can't stop Jordan Love. We kick a field goal right here, they're going to kick a field goal. We're going into overtime. If we get half a damn yard, this game is over. And the celebration by the Lions and the offensive linemen after they pick it up and the strain from Jared Goff to get the handoff, the boys knew. The boys knew. We just won the game. Offensive linemen started jumping up and down doing this one right here. It's like MCDC's got them all going in the same exact direction. They all believe in every decision that he makes. And although I don't know if they're going to be able to win all the games that they have to playing the way they did last night, especially against a Packers team that could have beat them a couple different times, I assume is what Packers fans are going to say. I'll wait to hear from your end on that whole thing. But it's like the Detroit Lions win football games. And it feels like they knew this is how they were going to have to win this one. And Skip puking all over the place in the locker room afterwards. Yep. MCDC giving shout-outs everywhere. It's like life is good as a Lions fan. I don't know if you're able to go with all the injuries still, like all. But the fact that they win that game, it's like well-coached, great culture, buy-in, intelligence, like everything that you need for a good team, let alone grit, AJ. So that's my big takeaway. Like, what a win by the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, people love to argue and, I guess, give their opinion on what the going forward on fourth down and what you should do, what you shouldn't do, what the analytics tell you. I feel like Dan Campbell, I don't know, you guys can let me know if I'm wrong here. I sense like he kind of takes all the analytics into the question, but he also takes in the moment. He trusts his instincts, and he even said after the game a little bit. First off, I got to sidebar, Jared Goff, unbelievable play here. He gets his foot stepped on. Still able to do this and not fumble the ball. Because imagine if he does fumble that ball and the ball goes bouncing around, boom, stops him. Yeah, something like that happens. What does Dan Campbell look like then? Like, then people have a completely different situation.
If that hits Buddy's elbow, Knuckles, if that hits Knuckles' elbow and goes down, scoop and score, 11-2 or whatever, they would be calling for MCDC's head. I mean, it would be, this guy's the dumbest. This guy, we know that they've won and everything. Everybody would be saying it. But instead, his players showed up for him, which is exactly why he does what he does. And it can certainly go the other way. But for some reason, when MCDC's leading the way, it always seems to go their way. Now, speaking of not going their way, let's go to the toxic table. Obviously, at Boston Corner. Good to see you, pal. You look fantastic.
Good to see you, too. Great jacket there.
Sco, Ducks. Thank you. Yeah, neutral site game. Didn't get any swag. So, yeah, didn't pack good either. Yeah.
Sure.
But, yeah, the body if I would have taken this and had to think, the redness, my whole body will blend in with seats.
Yeah,
so
part of them. Yeah.
So it's a little bit of an issue. Yeah, a little bit of an issue there. But Ty Schmidt right there next to Con Man. I heard the refs were the reason why. What happened here? There was a lot of comments on our Instagram posts from the game last night. My post this morning, whenever we get to see MCDC talk about Skip puking all over the place. The refs were the reason, I heard. Is that real? And what did I miss? There was a push off, I guess. And what was it, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that going around right now, which is bullshit. I hate that. Anytime that's the first thing you lean to, like you can't do that. Can't be doing that in an NFL game. Obviously, the refs aren't perfect. You're going to miss calls. But, yeah, there was the St. Brown catch that we just showed there that brought up the fourth down before the field goal. A lot of people saying he pushed off there. But then cherry picking and going back to, Jordan Love, getting hit in the head, or the touchdown that the Packers scored late that they took off the board for the pick by Christian Watson. A lot of people saying, hey, the Lions ran the same play earlier. Sam Laporta, does a pick for I can't remember if it was Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery on a screen pass, but he gets loose and gets a first down. So a lot of that kind of stuff. But like I told you, I mean, the Lions were 4 or 5 on fourth down. It's as simple as that. Like they tried to, I don't want to say they tried to give the game away, but the Packers had ample opportunities. And I think last night just kind of proved to me that Packers are good. I'm not worried about them in any stretch of the imagination. They're going to make the playoffs. I still feel very confident that they're going to win a playoff game, but I think they are still just kind of a class right below the Lions and the Eagles. A lot of people forget that this is the youngest offense in the NFL. They have a young defense too, so I think a couple years from now we'll really see this Packers team, more mature and see what they really can be. But every single time the Lions need to rise to the occasion, they do, especially against the Packers this year. They've scored 6 touchdowns. 4 of those touchdowns have been on fourth down. So, it's one of those things where you can blame the refs. You can point at the decision-making early on. The Packers kind of sleptwalked through the first 2 quarters of this game, which you can't do against a team like the Lions. So really all they can kind of blame is themselves, because when the Lions need a play, when they need a big moment, they have risen to the occasion every single time. And even early on, that's all we talked about yesterday. They're so banged up, their front 7. First play of the game, they sack Jordan Love and kind of throw everything off. Matt LaFleur is so good with his, first 15, his scripted play. Like, the Lions are up 10-0 in a blink of an eye, and that kind of changes everything, because then they don't get Josh Jacobs involved as much. Jordan Love has to throw. He was awful in the first half. So it's one of those things where I think you mentioned it, like the culture, the toughness, the coaching. The Lions are just really good. They're just a really good team. They're arguably the best team in the NFL. And the Packers, I have a feeling, they're going to circle this one for a long time and kind of rue all the mistakes they made. But again, they're 9-4. They're probably going to the playoffs. So I think you take that more so than, hey, we kind of blew this game in Detroit when we probably should have won it.
Ty, I think that's a wonderful way to view it. And I'm joined now, ladies and gentlemen, by the GOAT.
All right, Coach.
Nick Saban.
Yeah, Coach.
Coach, we were just talking about the Lions game first of all, welcome home, the SEC Championship. You know what I'm saying?
Oh!
All right, but anyways, before we get to that, we're wrapping up this conversation. I don't know if you got to see the entire game last night. Motor City Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Lions, he goes for it on fourth down all the time. It's like his thing. But his team normally gets it. Last night there was a situation, he goes for it on fourth. He gives the ball to Jordan Love in field goal range, definitely scoring position for sure. Then he goes at the very end of the game. He is in field goal range, score is tied, less than a minute left, okay?
Right.
Less than a minute left, right here. 4th and inches, in field goal range. They got a great kicker. He's made these kicks in this situation. 43 seconds left. Packers out of timeouts. He decides to go for it on 4th and inches, and his team picks it up for him. And that's obviously, I think, a calling card for his team. How did you go about making the decisions? Is it a lot in the moment? Do you have a preconceived idea of what you want to do in these situations? How do you make those types of decisions?
Well, I always thought if we had 1 yard or less, and I believed in our players, and I think Dan Campbell was showing that he believes in his players, that they're going to make a half a yard, whatever, in that situation. And I do agree with the analysis that if they kick a field goal with 43 seconds left, that Green Bay goes down the field and maybe they kick a field goal and score a touchdown. So you give them an opportunity to win the game. I always felt like if you can win the game on offense, do it. If you can win the game on offense, 3rd and 5, and you got to throw it, at the end of the game to make a first down to keep the ball so the other team doesn't get it back.
Yep.
Because most of the games that I played conservative in when I first became a head coach, we always lost, giving the other team a chance. All right, because we were conservative. We're going to give them the ball and stop them on defense.
Make the right decision, though. We're going to run the ball up the middle for 2 yards. They're going to use their timeout. We're going to do this, and then we're going to punt, and we're going to give them a minute 10 with no timeouts left. That's by a book. You can cover your ass and say that's the right decision. We wasted their timeouts. We did that whole thing. But if your team can end the game, if you get a first down, and a lot of people don't know this. Obviously, this was different. But if you get a first down with the other team with no timeouts, 2-minute warning or lower, game over. Game over. That is kneel out, game time. So a lot of those decisions made around then are obviously.
But I think fundamental execution is important, and I love Jared Goff. But his footwork coming out from under the center there. I mean, everybody says he made a great play, but with better footwork, he wouldn't have to.
Jared Goff has been unbelievable.
I love the guy.
And I like that he put himself maybe in a situation to strain a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more exciting for the people. Speaking of exciting for the people, do you know their head coach at all, Dan Campbell?
I don't, but we have, 4 or 5 players on that team so I watch that team a lot because I really try to pay attention to our guys in the NFL. People always ask me what team you like. I like the team that our guys play on and see how they're doing. Arnold,
big dog for them up there, too. I mean, what an absolute beast quickly for them. The way he goes about getting his team to follow a message, he's like 275, 282, absolutely yoked and jacked. But you can tell he's like a teacher. I think that's like a big quality. It doesn't matter how you deliver the message, but if you want to teach and lead, I think it gets home with players. Being who you are matters more, I think, than anything else. And he got murdered for it early. In his opening press conference, he said he was going to gnaw kneecaps. Then he wore he cried during the first win, like he showed emotion. And every metaphor he gave was just like one that looks like or sounds like it's from a guy who smokes. How many boys? You think 2 packs a day?
2, 3, 2.5, 4 on
3,
long
maybe
days.
3 packs a day.
Marlboro
so he
Reds.
got murdered by a lot of the heavy ones.
That's right.
And he's got America's best too. I think he's got America's best. He's got that old school America's best back in the day. He does all that, so he got murdered, but his team's kind of stuck with him. Do you think coaches? Obviously, they can. Why do you think coaches can come in all different forms?
Well, but I like the way Dan Campbell comes across. First of all, he's tough, builds toughness in his team, which I think is very important in terms of your culture. But you mentioned something, and he's a teacher. And, there's 3 different things that I always talked about in teaching. You're going to teach a guy what to do. Can you teach him how to do it with good teaching progression? And then if the guy can understand why it's important to do it that way, he's going to have a much better buy-in to doing it the way you want him to do it. And I think good teachers do that. And I think there's a lot of coaches out there that just tell guys they think their job is tell them what to do. They don't really tell them how to do it.
Or
they don't even tell them why it's important to do it that way. But when you can tell a guy, this footwork will help you play better in guarding a guy or covering a guy or whatever it is. And if you offhand jam them, that'll help you play better. If you use this footwork as an offensive lineman, you're going to have a better chance of being successful, on the zone play. I think that's what the Detroit Lions do very, very well. They got good players, but they do a really good job of coaching them.
Yeah, great coaching, especially on that defensive side, AJ. How about Aaron Glenn, Kelvin Shepard, and the boys? Did you hear the report coming out of halftime? I think for Kaylee Hartung said that Kelvin Shepard, former teammate of mine, dog, by the way, beloved. You're talking about an energy guy, beloved. Happy he's in coaching. I guess he was chewing out the linebackers on the field. I don't want to see one more missed assignment, not one more. And it's like, obviously they give up a bunch of points on the other side, but they were coaching their asses off up there in Detroit to get these wins, AJ.
Yeah, that's all. I would want to ask Coach that. How do you find like a balance? Say you're a defensive coach, defensive coordinator, like the fine balance to where, yes, we have enough in this game plan where we can come after and we can blitz and we have enough coverages, but also I don't want to overload my guys. I want them to play free, play fast, because we know the best defenses are always running fast and kind of playing on instincts.
And also, a couple guys just signed this week on the defensive side. Like they just signed them like 4 days ago. Yeah,
well, we had that once when I was in Cleveland with Bill Belichick at the Browns. We're going to play the Houston Oilers, and they're running a run and shoot with Warren Moon at quarterback, and we have to pick up 2 corners off the street. So we had like 3 or 4 defensive calls, 2 coverages, 1 pressure, 1 blitz. That was it. Now, we went and executed well enough to have a chance to win the game, But I think it's all relative to what your players can handle. But my theory as a coach was I was always a whole coach. In other words, I wanted to throw as much shit on the wall as I could throw on and see what stuck. Then what didn't stick, put it back in the bucket and throw it up there again until it all stuck. So I really wanted our players to have a capacity.
Whole part. Oh, you think that's it?
Whole.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
The whole bucket of shit's got to end up on the wall. All right, so
learn it. This is what we're doing.
But I think what that does, AJ, to your point, is your players have capacity to adjust, and they also have a better capacity to handle more multiples of things without screwing it up, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
When you teach simplicity, then people become simple-minded, and then they can adjust, and they can't do multiple things without making mistakes. And we used to put so much stuff in, like in fall camp, and guys looking at me like, why are we putting this in? Well, we're putting it in to see if you can learn it. All right, we might not use it till the 9th game of the season, but we're going to put it in today anyway. So, but I wanted to develop that in the players, and I think that's probably what Aaron Glenn's trying to get across to his guys. Now, when you pick up some guys off the street and they got to be out there playing, they didn't have the opportunity to go through that. You better simplify it for them.
What was the? And it seemed like they weren't. They were bringing pressure. They were sending it. Hey, Aaron Glenn was sending it last night. Obviously, that stat that NFL Plus Premium NFL Pro gave yesterday was the Lions, how much they were blitzing and adding a person to pressure, and then how Jordan Love has done against them in the past. Jordan Love was not good against pressure in the past. I felt like they brought a lot last night, but that could be because they were on 4th, 5th stringers. Who was that D tackle? 95? Was that his number, 95? Who was that, Foxy?
I don't even know. I actually don't even know. I didn't know half the people on that defense. 95 might have been the started with an N, Ty, the guy we were talking about. But that's why it was just so unbelievable last night.
There were some players there making plays. I'm like, holy hell. And how about Tim Patrick? Congrats. Hey.
Unreal.
Awesome.
Game ball.
95 is listed as Pat O'Connor for the Lions roster.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Good beard. Anyways, it was.
But the thing that allows them to do that, first of all, the Lions play a lot of man-to-man. All right, so if you're playing man-to-man and your guys can cover their guys, you can pressure more because you always heard me say this, the corners put the limitations on your defense. So they play a lot of man-to-man, so they might as well pressure and take up some of the slack for some of the personnel they're missing up front in the front seven because they're playing man-to-man anyway, even when they rush 4 guys. So I think that's the key to their success, that the back end can hold up and they can pressure people.
Aaron Glenn, great ball coach. They're both gone, huh, Foxy? They're both gone?
Yeah, they're both gone. I mean, you could argue that Aaron Glenn's the best defensive coordinator in the league. You could argue that Ben Johnson's the best offensive coordinator in the league. And you could argue that MCDC is the best head coach in the league.
Hold on. Zito, Gumpy told me in the plane this morning that Chicago fans are already saying maybe no to Ben Johnson. Wow. Is that true?
Yesterday, I believe he was talking about the Albert Breer. When, he was saying that there's a lot of things that the Bears has to do.
Stipulations?
Yes, yeah, and Bears fans did not like that.
What did he say? He said directly to the Bears?
It was what Albert Breer was reporting. I don't know exactly who.
Gumpy, does your mic work? What did you say, Gumpy?
Yeah, it was just the report that Albert Breer said basically Ben Johnson wants this and that, where he's going to be a head coach because he's already turned down places before.
Yeah, he said he's not.
So the Chicago Bears took that personally? What was he saying?
Well, that's just Chicago. Chicago, they're fickle when it comes to football, rightfully so, based on their past. But they just said more so like Ben Johnson, if he's interviewing somewhere, he's taking that job. Which, I mean, obviously, it would be the case in any interview. But that's why Bears fans are like, oh, you think that we're going to just interview you and automatically you get the job? That's not how this works.
Okay, respect. It is a good job. Chicago is a beautiful city. That fan base would go absolutely bonkers if they were great. But what's happening up in Detroit is a thing of beauty, and we'll continue that. Speaking of a thing of beauty, hey, SEC championship. Now, I should have done this research, so this is on me. I will let you know that.
Can I say something before we get into this?
Sure.
So, having interviewed for a few NFL head coaching jobs in the past.
Okay.
And I know you guys think that Chicago's a beautiful city and all that. But if you take a job where you don't have a roster, you got to look at the roster, you got to look at the salary cap, you got to look at the quarterback situation, which the Bears have a good one. But I'm saying you have to take all those things into consideration, because if you don't, you can end up in a no-win situation. Like, I took the Miami Dolphins job. We were $17 million over the cap, which was a lot back in those days. This is 20 years ago. We had the oldest team in the league. They're 4-12. Got no quarterback, and I'm thinking I'm going to make it right. Well, we had a winning season the first year, but we couldn't get it turned around. But there were so many obstacles and no draft picks because they gave them all away for Ricky Williams. So if you don't do your research in taking an NFL job, is my point.
I understand.
Regardless of how pretty the city is.
Did you know that going in, Coach?
Miami is beautiful. Miami,
we still love you in Miami.
Great.
Coach.
The weather was great. It was fantastic.
What'd you say, AJ? I'm sorry.
Did it, how much of that did you, I guess, know going into that job? Because you're right. Like, everything has to be in place if you want a chance to be successful as a head coach.
Yeah, I knew it. I just had a bad case of the dumbass. That's all.
We all get a case of that. Often too many times, some of us.
No, Wayne Huizenga was a great owner, and I thought this was a really good organization, and I thought we could get it fixed, and we got it moving in the right direction, but not being able to overcome the quarterback thing was the issue.
Yeah, and then obviously you go back to college, Alabama, and you just do your thing. Now, granted, that's for coaches who have options. Like Ben Johnson's going to have options. So there's other coaches that are like, I'm getting a job, I'm in. And there's obviously a different structure to how those deals go versus how Ben Johnson can get at this point. That's any negotiation for anything ever. Now, with that being said, you go back to Alabama, go back to college, come to Alabama, and obviously the rest is history. Greatest of all time. You walked on this field here, it looked like you were hovering. Felt like you obviously knew this place well. Everybody that's around here is associated with either Georgia, Texas, or the SEC and their advertisers. As soon as you walked in here, literally every person's neck snapped to watch you do this. You are obviously viewed as an icon in all of college football, but certainly in the SEC. Why is the SEC championship so important? Because you talked about that this morning. And do you have any memories whenever you walk into this environment that pop up front of mind?
Yeah, I have lots of memories. I think we played here, 11 or 12 times in SEC championship games. But, we played Florida. They were 1, we were 2. The next year we played them, we were 1, they were 2. So those 8 and 9, 2008, 2009 games, they were all great. But I think the SEC championship game is one of the most outstanding competitive venues in the country. And I think it's because the passion that people in the Southeast have for football, and I think that comes from the fact that there were no pro sports in the South until the 1970s. When Atlanta came in, Miami Dolphins came in, then later in the 80s the Saints come in. All right, so everybody in the Southeast grew up being a college football fan. That's not necessarily true up north. There
are some places, yes, of course, but not everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Here it's everywhere, seemingly.
Everywhere. And I think that's what makes the Southeast people have so much passion for the game. And I think that's what makes the conference what it is. And those outstanding stadiums and those outstanding fan bases and that great passion makes people want to play in this league, which makes this game a great game. And there's always great competition in this game, just like there's going to be between Georgia and Texas. And, we had some great games here. And sometimes the games here were actually harder than the national championship game.
Why is that? Yeah, why is that? You said that. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Well, we played Georgia. I think we were 1 and they were 3. And the year we played Notre Dame in the national championship, which I think was 12. And, it's the last play of the game. They got the ball on the 7-yard line. We tackle the guy and the clock runs out. And it's 28-24 or something like that. And then, we go play Notre Dame, it's 28-0 halftime. So it was always a tough game. It was a playoff game here.
Yeah. The environment creates it, obviously. The pressure of the towns in which your teams represent having the history and the tradition that they have. And Ty, it's like a lot of these places, obviously 100-some thousand, and they build and get bigger. They have like the season ticket waiting lists for like the Green Bay Packers have and shit.
Yeah.
It's like families trying to get more members of family into stadium to do more traditions. And I think that is why it is different down here, because it's They're all in. That professional football thing is very real. So any football person in the South, which is damn near every person in the South, just had to pledge their allegiance basically to the school they went or the school that is closest to them. And boy, it has created some phenomenal traditions. Like down there at LSU, you know which one I'm talking about.
Right.
And then here, here obviously Texas has great passion, tradition, brand new to the SEC. How would you feel if a Big 12 team comes into the SEC and wins the SEC championship in its first year? Would there be some thoughts from SEC people about that, or is that just showcasing that Sankey brought a powerhouse into the SEC when conference realignment happened?
Well, but I think Texas, because of Sark, was really built like an SEC team. You know, they're a big physical team. They play good defense. He's a great coach offensively, great play caller. But their team was built like an SEC team. You know, SEC teams have, great size and are physical, and playing physical in this league means something. And Georgia's got a physical team as well, and it showed up in the first game. That's why they were able to win the game, I think, is they were the more physical team. So, the other thing that I would like to point out that's a little bit off the subject here is, of course, great high school football in Texas, great high school football in the Southeast, because, when I grew up, and I don't know how it was for you in Pittsburgh, but the last guy in town turned the lights out when we had a game on Friday night. Everybody went to the game. So the school was the center of the community for everybody. So it was important to play. And, that's kind of transcended all over the Southeast for many, many years. And there's a lot of these schools that the community still supports, the school and the program. And there's great passion for high school football, which enhances the number of guys you have to recruit, and that enhances the league.
And a lot of these guys that have been recruited down in the South want to represent for the school that they grew up around or grew up in the same state as. That's a big deal down here for these guys. And 12 months of warm weather, AJ. That helps with that helps with a lot. That helps with a lot. Not everybody. Obviously, there's cold weather in some of those states that are a little bit more north, but there's certainly more warm days in the South than there is in Pittsburgh or West Virginia or Ohio. That emphasis on high school football is a good one I didn't even think about, because those Texas stories about those stadiums down there in Texas, and then obviously we watch all the movies, Varsity Blues.
Oh, yeah.
Friday Night Lights and all that stuff. It is football's a beautiful sport. Let's talk about this game that's happening here. You said the first game you think was potentially more who out-physicaled who outcome. Georgia did that to Texas in Texas. It was a big smear on Texas's campaign because their only good team they played, they lost to at home. It was this Georgia Bulldogs team.
Right.
Then Georgia would lose a game or two. And then now the conversation is, can Georgia still beat this Texas, fresh off of what Texas just did to Texas A&M? What are your thoughts on these two teams? Are they different than when they were the last time, and how do you see it going?
Well, I think actually Texas, just watching them progress through the year. First of all, when they played Georgia the first time, quarterback's coming off an injury, hadn't played for a couple weeks, got rattled in the game early because of Georgia's defense and the pressures, especially on third down.
5 sacks, I think.
Right. And Georgia has played a little better, but struggled against Georgia Tech defensively, but totally different kind of offense. Kirby is always going to do, just like I was the same way, kind of NFL coach. So when you play an NFL-type quarterback, we had lots of pressures, lots of things to mess them up, lots of disguises. When you play a running quarterback, a lot of that stuff's out the window.
Yep.
All right, so and that's what they're going to play when they play Texas because of viewers. But I do think the one thing that's important in this game is first and second down. Everybody's going to talk about third down, but your ability to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage and stay out of bad third down situations where they can do all these pressures, which you see right here, which is the first third down of the game, which is a corner blitz playing two trap, and sack fumble puts Georgia ahead in the game right off the bat. So who can help their quarterback play better by staying in better down and distance situations where you don't put a lot of pressure on
schedule.
On schedule.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it'll come down to which one of these guys plays the best in the game, in my opinion.
The offensive line for Georgia has gotten better throughout the year.
Right.
I think there's going to be some film on that tomorrow. I'm excited for that. Frazier coming in as the running back, and although ETN great, Frazier's been able, he had a couple massive scores for him last week against Georgia Tech and the whole thing. And then Carson Beck. What are your thoughts on Carson Beck? He was at one point, QB? He was. What were they saying before the season about him?
But 1 or 2?
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah.
Him and Quinn, right? Or these two, which makes sense, I guess, here.
Yeah, well, I think Carson Beck is a really good quarterback. You've heard me say this 100 times before. The players around you have to play well. He's had a lot of drops. He forced some balls, probably. Receivers don't separate quite as well as they did a year ago when he had some better guys, mismatched guys. So he's had a little more to overcome, but I think he's had an opportunity also to prove that he can do it if he doesn't have better players around him. So that maybe he didn't do as well as he could. But I do think when he hasn't turned the ball over, Georgia's lost 4 times. Every time they've lost in the last however many years, they lost 4 games. They've lost a turnover battle. And this year, how many turnovers they have against Alabama? How many they have against Ole Miss? I mean, it's the same thing. So taking care of the ball is really important. So if you can win first and second down, you don't put as much pressure on the quarterback on third down to take care of the ball.
Okay, so the name of the game is turnovers, says Nick Saban, which is so often the case, but in this one, even more specifically. I love tomorrow's game. This is a good matchup.
It's a good matchup, and I tell you, I always thought it was hard to beat a good team 2 times in a season. So psychologically, revenge should not be a factor, but it is.
Yeah, you felt it before.
I mean, everybody has.
Yeah, when you're Georgia, you felt or when you're Texas, you felt the loss to Georgia in your home.
Right.
And you've heard about it all year.
And then the psychological component of Georgia, how do they get up to win the rematch?
What's your message?
We showed an old Muhammad Ali. Everybody said he couldn't win the rematch in one of his fights. I can't even remember which fight it was, but I was always looking for examples.
Something. That's like Dan Lanning. Have you seen Dan Lanning stuff?
Oh, yeah.
They put those videos out on social media. I'll be excited to see what this week's mantra is, but he'll run some video up on the screen, and then that'll be the team's mantra for the week. Normally, these teams have these mantras for like entire seasons.
Right.
Like the Gladiator thumbs down thing, that would be like a whole season for some teams. Like, hey, this year we're Gladiators, it's thumbs down every workout. They probably have shirts, thumbs down, kill.
Right.
That was 1 week. And then the next one was Inglorious Bastards. It's like we're hammering heads. It's like, okay. And then I can't wait to see. It's like every week he's motivating.
Right.
You were that style? Were you that style of guy? Pop culture, that type of things?
I really wanted to have a message for the season. Okay, what we were doing for the season, and keep going back to that. But every week trying to have a new spin. So it's kind of a combination of the 2 things that you're describing.
So
which was really challenging.
Yeah, for how many years did you coach?
Yeah, 50.
So many. Dog. So many times he had to speak and say we need to be tough, smart, and win, basically. But how you get that message out, you got to find. That's like, did you see Hard Knocks? See Hard Knocks at all?
Yeah.
You see Mike Tomlin this week? It was on Tuesday. Have you seen
I didn't see it. Not this week.
It is. I mean, I wish they would have done that to you. Do we have any uncut footage of like your team meetings and stuff?
I think they did a Hard Knocks way back, maybe way back in 2009 or 2010 on us.
They're like a 60 minutes.
Yeah, but did you cut them off? Did you say you can't put that shit out there? Or did we get the real stuff?
I think you got some of the real stuff.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go find that. Tone has a question for you back in Indy.
Yeah, I do, Coach. Obviously, Penn State is a good team. James Franklin is a good coach, but we all know the numbers. They have struggled against top 10 and top 5 teams. I think it's like 1-13 versus top 5 or 3-18 versus top 10 or whatever those numbers are. They're not good. Why do you think that is? Because, obviously they have the talent, they have the guys, they have the coaching, but they just can't seem to get over the hump in these big games.
Well, so they are a physical team, and I'll give them that. And in the old days, when I say old days, I'm talking about 20, 25 years ago, there was whoever could run the ball for the most yards in a game usually won. It's not true anymore.
No.
Because the game is not wad ball anymore. It's spread, and now it becomes more about speed kills. So if you look at Oregon, the speed that they have, what they're able to do with it, in terms of the wide receivers they have, the good quarterback that they have. And even though Penn State's a really good football team and they can run the ball and they've got 2 really good running backs, other than the tight end, they don't really have a lot of guys that can make explosive plays. And explosive plays have become the second indicator of winning and losing. How many explosive play, turnover ratio is number 1, but explosive play ratio is number 2. So teams like Oregon just make a lot of explosive plays, and that is hard to overcome.
You know what we have found out, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow? You talk about physical, and to win football games you have to be physical. We have a Ram truck. Did you hear that? We just dropped an ad right into a microphone right there. Ram truck. We have a Ram truck segment where we highlight big-time hits in college football. Have to be legal, though. We're not promoting dirty shots, but just good. Oregon is nominated every week. We've done it 2 times, I think. This is D3 ball all the way through D1 football. We have a lot of people sending in big-time hits from all over the place. Oregon is in every single week. There's at least 1 or 2, like this one right here. This was this week's, the Duck Truck 2.0, and it was the running back hitting somebody. Then Uyunglele on the defensive side will hit somebody. They are like a violent football team. That is what I've learned. Hey, Tone, is that what you've learned from this Ram Truck segment too, with going through all the people that are nominated? It's like every week it was Oregon, Tone.
Every single week it was Whittington at running back. It was running back we saw this week, and then you said Uyunglele, and then the end who was out with the injury. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He was in there a few times. They had a safety in there. Oregon, they fly around and they hit.
They hit, dude.
Yeah, they are a physical team. I think that's what Dahn has brought to them. They used to just be a skill fast
flash.
Now they have the skill and the fast flash, but they also are physical. There's 2 defensive ends. They got a really good. I tell you what, James Kidd, the running back, number 20.
Yeah.
I mean, he runs behind his pads. He gets positive yards after contact. I like Oregon, but, I would say Oregon's team is more like my Ferrari than your Ram truck.
No, they got Teflon on the front of that. They're running people over. Their mentalities have been amazing. How many Ferraris do you have?
Just 1 at the present time.
No, that's not true.
I used to have 2, but I only have 1 now.
No. Don't you sell them?
Yeah, well, we have a dealership. Yeah.
So, are all of those cars yours? We don't think that.
No, I don't think that way. Unless I buy one.
Well, it's very nice of you to give back to your business.
Coach, if you want us to promote that, we'll drive them around up here for a little bit if you want to promote your dealership.
We need that tire insurance, that wheel insurance.
Big time. Bumpers, too.
Yeah. You need insurance for everything on those.
Yeah, come on. We'll market for it, though. A lot of people that we'll be able to hit the Ferrari market, too. I think, we'll be able to get the people that are buying.
Oh, yeah.
Ferraris.
That demo.
That is our demo. That Big Ten championship is going to be a good one, brother. We're going to be there. I can't wait to get in there. Ticket to get in there? We talked about this a little differently earlier. What you said about down here?
Yeah.
I think it's like $25 to get in or something like that.
Yikes.
140 or something like that to get up there for the SEC. We're not happy about it in Indy. We're not. We don't like that that's happening. We just want to let everybody know that Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be a loud house for that Big Ten game. That place is going to go bonkers, and it's going to be a great football game, just like this one is. Speaking of great, the great Boston Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach. Also speaking of great, Bill Belichick has interviewed for the UNC job. Obviously, you guys are good personal friends, and Bill has never coached in college. Did you have any conversations with him about this type of possibility, and do you think that he really will, maybe take the leap back to college to do this, just because of how the game in college has become a little bit more like the pros with everyone being paid and everything?
First of all, Bill's an outstanding coach. He's very well organized. He's a good teacher. I think he relates well with the players. So I think he would do a great job in college. The only thing that would be different is recruiting. But as you say, relationship building is not as important. Not that Bill wouldn't be good at that. Is not as important now that you pay players. I think it becomes a little bit more about, the money and the deal that you make with them. So it is a little bit more like pro football. So, and I think Bill knows how to manage that and would do a good job. So it doesn't surprise me when you have a coach of his caliber, quality, consistency, and success for a lot of years, that it wouldn't be somebody that people would consider.
Do you think he could two-step like you in a recruiting visit or no?
I can't answer that. I've never. I can't give you a scouting report on his two-step.
You can two-step though. I've seen it. I've been in the room where it happens too, boys. I've been up there in the recruiting room where it happens.
Fantastic.
Where he's doing the entire with him, and Miss Terry.
Saw it on The Blind Side.
I don't know. Yeah, we saw it when he sat down in the living room.
Yeah, he's acting.
Hey, listen, I got a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Hey, how about this one? Whoa, and we'll take it back.
But when I grew up in West Virginia, we had one movie theater, one movie a month. All right, you had the river you could go to, and they took the fire trucks out of the volunteer fire department every other Saturday night. All right, so if you couldn't dance, you could not get a date. All right, it was imperative that you learn how to dance, or you had no chance.
I'll tell you what, Miss Terry saw those moves. She was like, I'll tell you what, look at that 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2. I saw you working up there. That was awesome when those videos hit the internet, because obviously nobody thinks that Nick Saban is a dancer. He's got rhythm. Dude's got rhythm out here. It is a phenomenal thing. AJ, you think Ryan Day's dancing? How do you think Ryan Day?
I do not. I'd like to ask Coach about that. Yeah, Ohio State Buckeyes, obviously tough loss at home. I was there in the stadium. Disappointed, frustrating loss for them. But what do you do if you're Ryan Day? What do you say to your team? Like, everything is still out in front of them. They can still have a chance, hopefully, to go win a national championship. It's kind of a unique situation that hasn't come up before, really. But like, what do you tell your team?
Well, I think it's imperative to challenge them to respond. They obviously lost a tough game, no doubt about it. A game that means a lot to a lot of people. But I would say, look, guys, let's learn from the mistakes that we made in this game, because we have a really good football team and we got a chance to win a national championship here. So let's go start doing the things we need to do on a consistent basis to be able to do that. I thought Ohio State played really free and easy against Indiana. I thought not so much against Michigan, and I don't know exactly why that is.
Free and easy confidence, you mean?
Confidence.
Yeah. I think so.
You got to have conviction in whatever you're trying to do, but you also got to be confident in doing it. And then you got to trust and believe in it that you're going to go out there and be able to execute it no matter who you play. It's about what you do. It's not about what the other team does. And as long as you can stay focused on that, I think you can go play without a bunch of anxiety because you're confident in being able to do what you're supposed to do. It's like this guy misses 2 field goals. I mean, he wouldn't miss those 2 field goals normally.
Amen.
But hey, I think they got a good team. I think they got a good opportunity. I think they got to get off the negative BS that they're probably getting criticized for losing this game, and use that as a stepping stone to be able to improve so that they have a chance to win in the championship.
That Jack Sawyer fellow, I hope he wins a national championship. I do. It is all in front of him. This happened a few years back whenever Michigan won the Big Ten championship. Then Ohio State got in as the 4th team, and they had Georgia here, right here. They had Georgia right here. AJ, remember your van got the windows bashed in. You remember that?
Yeah, we had a few cars, multiple cars surrounding me in that same parking lot got bashed in as well. Yeah.
Okay, so a targeted attack on your windows and everybody else's while we were down here. That's one of the memorable things from that week. The other one was that Ohio State missed a 51-yarder, I think it was. They beat Georgia that year, and then they would have won on, and it would have been a rematch. It's like, and then if they don't win the national championship, like Ryan Day's life, which is a crazy thing to think about, but I guess that's what college football coaches sign up for. That's just what you sign up for. Like, how do you feel about Coach DeBoer? He's in college football playoff right now, 12-team. People are pissed that, other teams are left out. This team's put in, yada, yada, yada. Big conversation around that. Big conversation. ACC conversation, also big conversation around the SEC. Alabama gets the spot over. Insert team here, 4 of them. Now, Clemson beats SMU in the ACC championship. Alabama still has a chance to not be in the college football playoff if SMU was to take their spot, and Clemson gets the ACC championship first round bye. What are your thoughts on the entire situation? Have you talked to anybody at Alabama about your thoughts, and how would you play it out if you were Kalen DeBoer?
Well, I think first of all, whether you're Ryan Day, Kalen DeBoer, whoever you are, and even when I was involved in coaching in these games, and hey, we lost some games that, we got criticized for, and rightfully so, but I was always our best critic. In other words, I wasn't worried about what everybody else said or what everybody thought or what was in the the press about how we played or what we should have done or shouldn't have done. I put more pressure on myself to do a good job and to put pressure on the other team by what we did. And I was not ever focused on what everybody said, thought, or what was on the internet or what Paul Feinbaum thought. I never was concerned about any of those things. And I never took any of it personal because it does affect your focus and your judgment and your decision making when you get involved in all that stuff. So that would be my first coaching point to both those guys. And secondly, I do think that strength of schedule and what teams did you beat? How many good teams did you beat? I think that speaks volumes about what kind of team you're capable of being. And I think there's a lot of ups and downs in college football. Probably the system has created that to some degree, so it's more difficult to be consistent.
Yep.
But I don't think we want to do anything in this playoff situation that's going to enhance people not to play a tough schedule. I think we want people to play a tough schedule.
Good games.
Because you want good games. People want to see good games. You know,
this year was awesome. There's top 5 games all over the place.
Well, you want people to play in those games, and you want them to schedule some tough non-conference games. You know, so I don't think we want to enhance people that won 10 or 11 games and didn't play one top 25 team or didn't beat one top 25 team.
Yeah, but you're biased. You know, you're biased. SEC biasy. You know, nobody will listen to what you said.
I am. I don't.
Nobody will listen to what you said, though, about, like, we would like teams to schedule difficult games because that's good for fans and good for college football.
Exactly.
But if you're punishing them at the end of the year, ADs are smart. They're not going to, because the college football playoffs are a lot better. Yeah, it's just, it's a fascinating time, and obviously this year sets precedent for next year, and how the first round ends up being and how the tournament goes will certainly be a big part of the conversation. The only conversation I know that happens around these parts is that Nick Saban, you're the GOAT, brother. Thank you so much for stopping by, Coach.
Thank you, Pat.
First hour. Stuck around a long time.
That's awesome.
Thank you for doing that. I feel like we interrupted something in your schedule for sure.
Not really. I'd rather be here with you than any place else. You know that.
Oh, hey, that's that recruiting. You hear that two-step just happened?
Incredible.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Saban.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach. And I believe, boys, Greg Sankey, Commissioner of the SEC, will be with us here in the second hour, 1:15, I believe. Is that right, Diggs?
Somewhere around that time.
Yeah, somewhere around there. What do you think of Coach? What do you think?
I mean, he's the man. He's the best. And the fact he kind of threw in that little tidbit early, he's played in 12, 13 SEC championship games. Like that must.
He's won 11.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a record or what it is, but that is an asinine amount of conference championship games.
Yeah. Alabama is, they were like the Patriots of college for a little while.
Yeah, basically.
10, 15 years?
Yeah.
15 years probably had a good run.
They're in the same, I mean, when he mentioned Miami.
People forget that before Nick Saban got to Alabama, Alabama was not the Alabama we're used to right now.
Going 500.
It was a much different thing, wasn't it?
No.
He went through multiple coaches. He took over for Mike Shula, I believe.
Yes, I believe so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what was it? He took over like 6, 7, somewhere around there. Till I mean, we watched them lose in the semis.
He was with the Dolphins in 06. I know that coming out.
Yeah, it was a tough era to be in the AFC East.
Well, people know too, but they don't remember how good he was at LSU either.
Oh, you're 100%
Won a
right.
national championship at LSU.
It's such a recency bias, isn't it? That's how everything works, isn't it?
That's like forgotten about completely.
Yeah. Tone, stick around. We got Deion Dawkins also in the third hour. I think he'll be with us
back
around 2:30. Ty, can't wait to see you. Connor, you as well. Pat will be back with us here in the second hour. We'll see you then. Bye.
Belle Sessions, who got here at 3 a.m. this morning, was the winner. Her ticket was pulled, and you thought to yourself immediately, what, Belle?
I knew I couldn't do it, and he was next to me, and he said that he could, so we're splitting it.
Okay, so Belle Sessions made the decision to talk to my man, Henry Silver, who Henry got here yesterday at 6 p.m. He's been waiting for this moment. Now, Henry, you told her that you could make it. Why do you think that's the case? Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I've kicked a ball before. I've played soccer my whole life. I think I can do it.
This kick is for $150,000. You said you would split it in half, right? Yes, sir. Okay, so let's make it $200,000. If you make it, you will both get $100,000. Where are you from, Henry?
I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Colts.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Come on, bro. Hell yeah. To hell with the Falcons. That was rude. They didn't deserve that. I like that. Henry, 33 yards, 100,000 for you, 100,000 for her, $200,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 on the line. Henry, are you ready?
Of course.
Have you ever said anything bad about kickers?
Of course.
Shut up. Let's go. Now, here in Athens, Georgia, it would be beautiful if $400,000 would be up for grabs. Why don't we double it because the Georgia Bulldogs? So, $800,000 kick right here, Henry. But what I want to let you know is you're not getting a second opportunity. I don't care if this entire place starts chanting for a second kick. One kick, 800,000 racks, 400,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 to you two split, 200 grand each. Henry Silver from Indiana for Bell Sessions. Let's go, Henry! Oh, my... Henry! Henry! Come in, buddy! Come in! Let me see this, Henry! That was amazing. I mean, he walked in like Henry! Congratulations, Henry! Congratulations, Bill! Dude! Congratulations, Georgia! What a morning! College game day's the greatest. College football's amazing. Bill!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour 2 of the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting here at Pat's desk as he is down in Atlanta, Georgia for the SEC championship game. It's going to be fun.
Football! Hell yeah.
It's on everybody's mind. I see you got Coach out of there, Pat. How? What does he do from now? I assume he goes around and he's still recruiting even though he doesn't have a team. That's what I feel.
No, not recruiting. Thank God for that way. Great to see you, sir. There's a lot of people. I just met CEO of Dr. Pepper, Tim Kofer. Good guy.
Tell him to make good decisions.
Good. So I guess last year there was a situation. He just reminded me of this. I forgot all about this. There was a situation where there was a miscount and the wrong person was awarded the win. And then immediately after finding out, remember Dr. Pepper gave the $100,000, whatever the check was, to both people immediately. They in the moment as a. I couldn't even imagine how bureaucratic that company is with how big it is. It's obviously publicly traded and been purchased and everything. So for them just in the moment to be like, nope, we'll award both people, I think he reminded me of that situation. And I guess we talked good about that.
We did.
I
remember that moment. Yeah, and that's exactly what you said is in the moment they knew to give both those people money. That was a cool move.
Yeah, big companies don't operate like that. Like, people need to know that. Like, giving away money, like, people don't
Usually
really...
you get canceled, and then you have to come back and be like, oh, yeah, we're going to make this right about a couple days later.
Bingo, full on.
Yes.
So, because there's always people that have to ask, bang, 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 bang. Like, hey, I think we should do this. Somebody has a good idea in one of these companies. And I don't know how Dr. Pepper is. I guess I shouldn't judge him. I'm just going to say every other business that is seemingly aligned and structured the way theirs is. This is just outside looking in. Somebody has a good idea, then they send it up. This person likes the idea. Yeah, let me add my thoughts. Likes it, and then it gets to some person. They're like, I'll be the bad guy. No, we're not giving away $100,000. How about that? And that's like how it kind of normally works out. That's why the field goal kicking contest, like from the very beginning, it's like has to be my money because like would like kicker to feel pressure actual pressure. So in the moment, like looking in the guy's eyes and being like, you know what? Actually, $400,000 just to see if they react. No business is going to sign on for that. None, ever. That is never going to be the case. So them doing that, I do remember having massive respect for that. Dr. Pepper, shout out. And I told him also, a little sweet. Hey, a little sweet, pretty sweet. You know what I mean? A little pretty sweet maybe we had in a tag team partner. No, he said, you want a little sweet back? And I said, And then I say, I also found out Lil Sweet doesn't do the singing. He goes, well, and I said, can't have that much moxie and be able to say, I get it. So we'll see if Lil Sweet kind of comes back from all this. I hope so. Nick Saban's got to go film room. I think also because both these guys are his coaches, I assume there's some sort of, hey, how you doing? Nice connection. He has good connection with all these people. So he has a busy day for sure. And we just kept him for 40 minutes or so. No big deal. I assume there's so many business opportunities here for Nick Saban, if he wanted them. All these companies being here, all the big sponsors of the SEC, when he walked in here, they all just stopped and were like, holy fuck, it's real. That's really
he's
like,
a godfather of the SEC.
12, he said, Connor? Is that what he said?
Yeah, 12 or 13. That is nuts to think about how long and how great you have to be. And it does make sense going back to what we've talked about with him, where it's like, yeah, we win the national championship. We win an SEC championship. You enjoy it for a cup of coffee, and then you're back out on the road getting the next team ready to go win an SEC championship.
I also like the fact that he wins a national championship, and somebody at the grocery store who's a big Alabama fan says, need the SEC next year, all right? Need to win.
Yeah, didn't win everything, did you?
Yeah. Did you win the Southeastern Conference, though? That's what we are kind of wondering about. Ty, obviously, conversation of the day is that the Green Bay Packers are 1 year away. Is that what your big takeaway is from last night?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went and beat the Lions in the playoffs if they were to play them again, because I think it's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. But yeah, just too many mistakes, too many young guys. 1 more year, I think, and because they do. I mean, if they actually play a complete game, I think they're going to be they're going to be a tough out for anybody. But they played 2 good quarters last night. Too often they just kind of, for whatever reason, aren't prepared to play. And you could tell last night, the Lions were ready to go from the jump. So until they get to that point, because Jordan Love has kind of looked a little bit better, but again, in the first half last night, he was atrocious. And then in the second half, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the guy that we're paying $55 million a year for.
You like Matt LaFleur going at the one of the guys holding the flag pregame?
I mean, yeah, if the guy's talking shit to him, I like him bumping his gums back. Why
He's
not?
protecting his guys. He said the guy was talking to his players.
Again, his face.
Can't have it.
Yeah, they are.
It's bullshit, man.
I thought it was Packers by $1 million there.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw this happening, I was like, and the players getting up and ready to fight for him as well. And I like that the rivalries are having a little bit of sauce, even if you go back to last week.
Yes.
Feels like football is getting a little bit of a hard edge back. We need to make sure we're doing it smart. But I do appreciate that the Lions fans let the Packers know that this is a real rivalry and it's our time. And I like that the handsome LaFleur said, get this guy the hell off the field. What are we talking about? He was going to fight this guy. And that's why we love it. Speaking of things that we love, ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program has joined us, the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey.
Yeah, come here.
Well, I hear him. I want to go back to the flag planting issue from last weekend.
Okay, please do.
I saw that on social media. I'm like, that's a new twist on flag planting. So guys down there to hold the flag, we've invented new ways to cause me problems.
It is interesting. The flag in general is starting to become something. Okay, we'll start there. That was a massive talking point. Now, I'd like to argue from a player's perspective, and I'm sure you've heard this. The conversation around this modern era of college football is that because of the transfer portal and because of the money, kids don't care anymore. Kids aren't invested. They don't have as much passion or loyalty to teams. So I appreciate the fact that there were some teams that saw their field getting disrespected and said, we got to do something about it. Now, with that being said, it can't be every game. It's not great for anybody to have those pictures be what people who don't watch college football see of college football and think that these meatheads can't control themselves. They do this entire thing. I think there is a silver lining in it, but I don't think it can become common occurrence. What is your kind of rules on it down here in the SEC, and how often does it take place then?
We had not had that for probably since 17-18. So we have a few intense rivalries that last week. We have rivalries every week.
Yeah,
and in the Egg Bowl, we had a couple of circumstances that repeated themselves, sat down with the athletics directors, and we actually removed the flags. just because we didn't want that problem to continue to manifest itself. Because the intensity I get, there'll be moments when teams kind of come together and have a little bit of a verbal jousting. I understand that. That's part of the intensity. You don't want that
Football.
every week, but that's part of the intensity. It'll happen after play. We had a couple of blocks like into the bench over the weekend too. I think that shows the intensity. But the flag planting, my quote to Ross Dellinger was, hey, if you want to plant a flag, join the military, play capture the flag, fly to the moon. Those are good flag planting places in my
Yeah, the moon is.
Use the energy
Go to the moon.
to compete, man.
Yeah.
Use the energy to compete.
Hey, that's a great quote. You felt good about that whenever? Yeah.
Yeah, when I gave it, I did. It was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon, he texted me and said, hey, I want to talk about the fight in FSU in Florida. I'm like, hey, we have stuff happen, and we've had what I consider to be fights. That was just like, I don't appreciate you putting the flag down with probably some other colorful words, a bit of pushing. And, Billy, Mike obviously pointed it to Billy, and I'm not going to evaluate everything. Billy got in there and started to be part of the solution. There were a lot of guys in that were part of the solution, and that's what you want. You want the competitive fire, but not after the game. The competitive fire in the game is the reality we see.
Age, obviously Ohio State was a part of the big one with Michigan there that really set the entire day off, I think. I love that Jack Sawyer went to fight guys that plant a flag on his field. I think from a player's perspective, and I know obviously you have massive brain, you're like, we looked at it. We think you're the second most powerful person in sports. So good for you. That's awesome. AJ, I think we've come to the decision just the no flag thing is probably the right move. That is probably the right move.
It's not going to end well. Like, I just don't see any way that it ends well if it continues to happen. Also, we're playing on field turf now, boys. Like, it doesn't have the same oomph when you can't stick it in the ground. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but when Baker did that to you guys at Horseshoe, it stayed up for a little bit. It was like a Chris Angel.
Bake's a bit of a magician. He did make that thing stand for 3 or 4 seconds. You're right.
It's like whenever somebody gets like a 4-legged chair to stand up on one of its legs, and it's like a balancing act. Yes. Like Baker did that with the flag in real time. And then Bosa, remember, whenever he played against them with the Niners, he did the thing after a sack. It's like the flag, planting your flag, saying this is mine is a big deal. I appreciate the fact that you're going to have to handle that. Speaking of handling that, 2 teams are going to battle tomorrow to handle who's the champion of the Southeastern Conference. We talked to Coach Saban earlier. He told us a story about no pro teams, since the 1970s. People have just been growing up with these schools. Georgia, obviously, in the middle of a potential dynastic run. They win a national championship. You're talking 3 out of 4 years. You're talking about being something very, very special. They've had a hard road to get here. Texas, brand new to your conference. Is that good thing, bad thing? And how do you view the game that's taking place tomorrow?
I haven't viewed like good, bad. I view it as reality. And remember, Texas was announced along with Oklahoma back in 21, so they've had 3 years to prepare. They knew the destination.
Saban said that as well.
Yeah, and 6 weeks after we announced the invitation, they were in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Arkansas beat them that night. I think that's one of those lessons along the way. Steve had been with Nick a couple of times. He'd obviously been on the Falcon staff here, but Steve had lived the SEC life as an offensive coordinator. In fact, one of my forever remembering phone calls is Thanksgiving at 20 when Nick tests positive for COVID, and I'm talking to him about, Steve has to coach the Iron Bowl. He has to make those decisions. And I think all of that.
But then he cured it. That was 26 hours, wasn't it, if I recall? Coach Saban had the...
No, that was the first time there was a false positive.
False positive.
Then he had it for real, for the Iron Bowl.
Okay.
And Steve's coaching in the Iron Bowl. My point being is there's been a lot of preparation, so I don't view it as good or bad. I view it as the competitive reality. And you saw a great game plans by both teams. Georgia had the edge, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I was at the A&M Texas game. The defense is probably another level as they've grown during the season. You watch Carson, and man, that second half against Alabama, tough first half, but that is a resilient competitor. And even the Georgia Tech game, to go 8 overtimes and come back the way they did, is a tribute to what can happen on the field when you have these competitive opportunities, which I think is what high-level players seek. They cherish this. So all the noise about conference championship game misses. This is what the people on the field cherish.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang a banner, brother. Get a ring. I mean, that's anytime you get a chance to celebrate beating opponents, you're certainly going to do that. They've talked, Coach Saban talked about it. Herb Street has talked about it before. There's just a palpable buzz in the air at these SEC championships. So congratulations on having a conference that is always invested and always cares. How hands-on are you with scheduling of the SEC? Because Texas got a light SEC schedule, allegedly. You know, and then obviously Georgia had a very strong SEC schedule. How does that get figured out? Is that you guys? Who does that?
That comes from the conference office, and we spent years. And what we did, we had to look back, trying to narrow the competitive disparity. And all you can do is look at history. So we went back post-expansion in the SEC to figure out the dynamics of wins and loss percentage. Like if you could have a perfect schedule, everybody's total set of opponents would have a 500 record. They'd win what they lost. In our divisions, that disparity was from like 46% up to 64, so a huge disparity. Going into this season, that disparity was narrowed greatly, like 48 to 54. So we were close to having 500 records and opponents, but that's backward looking for 12 years. Now here's the problem. Oklahoma and Texas weren't in the league, so how do you accommodate for that in the analytics? And then the transfer portal, let's be honest, has really changed things. Like
teams change.
Yeah, you look at playing Vanderbilt, and I think people have underappreciated the competitive effectiveness. The line play at Vanderbilt. Obviously, I have a quarterback that's been a great story.
Diego.
But those have been hard games. You look at Georgia going to Kentucky. That's a 1-point game after South Carolina went to Kentucky and had a great game. All of those things are part of the realities of scheduling in this new environment.
But what if it's going to get punished, though? So, like, that's the...
Well, that's where I was headed next.
Okay.
There has to be recognition. Like, I could pull out my email and show you our 16 teams. Right? Strength of schedule. And this is not my rating. This is Massey, FPI, and Sagarin combined. When you take
Massey and Sagarin, they don't mess around.
That's exactly right. You don't want to see them with a flag at midfield. That'll cause a problem.
Yeah, Massey. Yeah, we know.
So you combine all of those. 14 of our teams' strength of schedule is greater than the first of the other top 25 CFP teams. In other words, 14 of our 16 have stronger schedules than the next CFP team. And then the next two follow, and then everybody else in the CFP top 25 rankings has a lesser schedule than our 16 teams when you use that metric.
No,
now, I've done my homework. No, and again, you don't want to meet those guys on a flag plant because they're serious about stuff.
I appreciate how much the SEC folks care about the SEC, and I think that's why you are such a perfect commissioner for them, because it's not just football, it's every sport. You feel this way, you truly do represent it. Then one of those Saturdays happen, and you talk about the parity, the 14 teams that have a hard schedule. That Saturday happens where, you know, 3 of your top teams all get knocked off by lesser teams. You're almost like beating up on each other. And if this college, how much are you paying attention, obviously, to the college football playoff and how they're going to be putting in who?
A little bit.
Because there was a chance. What was it last week? There was a chance only one SEC team. Was I hearing that right?
Yeah, maybe champion.
One?
Yep. Yeah.
No, just a champion getting in there. No, but that was a conversation. Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4? It's currently 4 right now in the playoffs. And obviously, people talk about 3 losses. Georgia might have 3 losses, you know, after this whole thing. Are they going to get it? It's how do you view it all? And who are you talking? Are you a part of any of these conversations?
No, I'm not in the selection process. We have policies on communication. So we have 2 members of the selection committee that visit with our staff on a regular basis as the season comes to conclusion about injuries. We talk about strength of schedule. We talk about favorable data points. Like if you look at our record against every other Power 4 conference, you know, we're unchallenged in our level of success. That's just reality.
Unchallenged in our level.
And that's just in football. Not to mention we won 14 of 16 men's basketball games in the SEC, ACC men's basketball challenge this week. But that's just a throw-in.
Just wait. Don't be scheduled in West Virginia, Dahn, with anybody. Just won't
we'll take that. We'll do that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Okay.
Fill it up.
So I look, but let's think. Last year when you and I had this conversation, it's, hey, if Georgia loses and Alabama wins, you might not get anybody in. Right?
Yes.
Now we're having conversations about teams 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've brought more people into the conversation.
Agreed.
I think that's good for football. My view is, just like last year, if we were at a 14 playoff, we'd have a team in, we'd be talking about New Year's 6, we'd be talking about who goes to the other bowl games. The chance to even have a debate about more of our teams being engaged in this national championship opportunity because of the high level of play, I think is great. Now we entrust the committee. Do I have different perspectives at times? Do I think strength of schedule is distinct in this conference compared to others? Absolutely. Do I have different thoughts? Sure. But we have to let the committee reign. And here's what's going to happen. Just like in men's basketball, we're going to immediately be into there should be more teams in the college football
Yes,
playoff.
they're already planning that, aren't they?
Yeah, well, no. It's talked about. It's part of the rhetoric. But, you know, football is not a tournament game. It's a playoff game, and we have to be sensitive to the demands of the regular season and the demands of the postseason as well, and have to find a balance.
Ball.
Especially in the Southeastern Conference.
Amen.
And West Virginia and the Big 12. You don't want anything
on special teams for sure.
All right, great.
That's true.
Hey, ask him if he's cold right now, because that leads to. Do you want to ask him, Connor? Do you want to ask?
Yeah, that
Commissioner?
actually is what I was going to ask, Commissioner. It does look like you're a little bit chilly. I'm assuming you might have a scarf back there somewhere, just in case it is very cold. But that is the conversation right now. If the college football playoff were to stay how it is, Tennessee's going to Ohio State, and as we all know, those Southeastern Conference teams,
Alabama up to South Bend,
bingo, coming up to Indiana, and it is brick in Indiana right now. Let me tell you, but. That is kind of the convo. Those Southeastern teams, they're great, but when it gets a little chilly, they might kind of quiver back into their holes a little bit. Is that something that
we're not saying that? We're not
saying that. That's just the narrative that's being talked about.
I think he said it.
No. He's reporting.
People are saying this is journalism.
Yeah,
I'm
not saying that. Observe and report.
I watched the show. You got to tell me when the journalism.
Yeah. Well, it's all the time. He's got an Oregon hat on. Don't you worry about it.
They bought me off.
I missed the Iowa gear from last year.
Well, Iowa gear's right on the other side.
I love them.
So it's not them, though. They have seen their friends.
So let's go back to last week. Like at the end of that 8 overtimes, it was in the 20s. I asked in Athens, our teams performed. I was at the Egg Bowl. It was cold at the Egg Bowl. We had a great football game. It was a little warm in College Station. It was in the 50s, so that was pleasant. We had snow in Missouri for Arkansas, Missouri. So it's happened in this league. I thought Josh Heupel went to the podium and he said, hey, any place, anytime, and if you don't feel that way, you're just here for the cup of coffee. So our guys are going to be ready. We have heated benches, we have hot hands, we have gloves. A long time ago, I was commissioner of the Southland Conference. You take southern teams up to Montana. Now, that's cold in Montana. Missoula, Montana, that's cold.
Very cold, yeah. It was like negative 20, I think, when we were.
Our guys will be ready. Some global warming might help around these.
Aren't you happy, too, with the addition of it? It's cold. We're up there. They're in. The global warming ain't doing nothing up there.
We got a couple weeks for it to sort itself out.
No. It was, 60-mile-an-hour winds the other night?
Yeah.
60-mile-an-hour winds out of nowhere.
Yeah, Wednesday night was scary.
Wind chill, 20 below.
Yeah.
It was an Arctic. It was an Arctic tornado. It felt like. I was very worried. But if one of your teams has to walk into one of these Arctic tornadoes,
those guys on the line of scrimmage are going to line up with no sleeves, and they're going to.
SEC guys.
It's going to be a line of scrimmage game. I'd take a windy game. I'd take the line of scrimmage game, and I'd look forward to.
He's talking shit there. He was giving giving an answer like, yeah, we're okay with a run game if that's how this is going to go. If you want to out physical us, AJ Hawk has a question for you, Commish.
Commish, you mentioned earlier. You said there's like communication rules on how you can talk to teams and everything. You said there was 2 people from Alabama that you guys speak to or whatever. How is that common with other teams? And does every team kind of have a
from the committee?
From the committee. I'm sorry.
about that.
Yeah, there's a range of people in my conference who talk to me. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that have my phone number in this league. That can go any place. I was talking about the process for communication with the selection committee, which we've all agreed to, is we'll have scheduled calls with 2 representatives of the selection committee. We share team information it's not necessarily a weekly basis. It accelerates at this time of year, but that's the point of communication. Like Pat, you were asking about, hey, do I talk to people about selection? And, and we follow the process.
Every conference does the same thing? Every conference does these?
Yeah, it's a standard process. You're assigned 2 reps, a primary and a secondary. Same thing happens with the NCAA basketball committee on the men's and women's side during the
Are you doing pitch decks there or just conversation?
We provide them team sheets, so schedule, any key injuries, somebody may have missed a game. We talk about some I'll call them brag points, things that we've achieved that might be unique to us on a regular basis, and then they have a lot more information and probably have what we provide, but it's a touch point. And if they have any questions of us, like, hey, was so-and-so receiver in this game back in September outside the game, just to clarify, I think that's the kind of healthy conversation that's appropriate for all of the conferences.
Amen. I think it's a good idea, too, to get more information, all the information that they can get so they make the right decision, even though they're never going to be able to get it right in everybody's eyes. Thank God it's them, not us.
Right.
That is how I feel about it all. Tone Diggs has a question for you back in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Commissioner, we are big proponents on this show that we love the first round being those home games, but we also think the conference champions, whether it stays like that or not, but the teams that are getting these buys into the quarterfinals should also have home games as well. Now, I know there's a lot of big corporate money because those are going to be bowl games that have been bowl games for years and years and years. But what are your thoughts on potentially going to home games as well in the quarterfinals so that, those teams that won their conference champions also get that opportunity?
Yeah, so I don't want to be like the adult in a Charlie Brown commercial, or that goes to like blah, blah, blah. But I'll just...
You're going to blah, blah, blah?
No, I'm not going to blah, blah. So
it's an SEC championship. I can't take blah, blah, blah.
These 2 years, we have existing agreements with bowl games, and so bowl games have to be a part of it to expand early. That's clear. We're also going to talk to those bowl games because football has a tradition still. We are experiencing something with those first-round games, and I think it's a fair question. How will those be received? How will those be conducted? It'll be different. Like you just asked me about playing in cold weather. Hey, we're going to be ready to play wherever. We do think there is a lot to the tradition of bowl games, and we're going to see something on December, 20 and 21 that we've never seen before, which is postseason football games played in on-campus facilities between two teams. That's going to be pretty cool to watch.
We, as people that have been just dropped into the college football world, and maybe I'm from Pittsburgh, so is Tone, and obviously AJ is an Ohio State guy through and through. Connor was born up near Boston.
Plum area.
I grew up outside Syracuse, New York.
Okay, so not Syracuse.
Let's go Buffalo.
Anyways, didn't grow up in college football worlds. With game day now, we've all got to experience what it is, why college football is special. The people that haven't seen a college football game this year, that are going to watch a home field advantage college football playoff game, I think it's going to make a lot of fans. I think it's going to make a lot of people that are ball fans kind of learn, like, hey, we got like the hooligans experience in Europe. I don't think people that don't watch college ball fully understand what the environment's like, the chants, the buy-in, the passion, the loyalty, the grandness of some of these stadiums. It's like, I think it's a good thing. That's why Tone and I think all of us would like another week of that, because I think that is a part of what college ball is.
I'm going to walk away from the hooligan part of that experience, but I think your other descriptions about the passion, the positive passion, that's what we want.
Hooligan's a compliment, right, to the hooligans over there?
I hope so.
Hooligans are
I didn't know that.
Good time.
Sometimes the sound's down when I do watch the show. I miss the definitional use there.
Okay, all right. We appreciate you watching. You need to stop watching the program. Last time you were on the program, we didn't know what transfer portal NIL was going to be like. There was like we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. You talked about the turnover and the consistency, I think, in one of your answers about it. What are your thoughts on how the Southeastern Conference and how college ball has handled all of this? Transfer portal, NIL, team turnover, everything. How do you feel?
We've gone through what normally would have been decades of change through the process in a matter of years, and we're about to go through more change in a matter of weeks and months trying to resolve a settlement. We need
April 8th, right?
We need national standards to be returned. Like when I visit with players from teams, whether it's football or basketball or baseball, they just want to know that the people across the line of scrimmage have the same standards that they have in place. And right now it's on a state-by-state basis. That's not healthy. We need national standards. We need to return some oversight to the name, image, and likeness activity like fair market value, real business purpose. I think the transfer portal, the transfer opportunities have allowed kind of this migration quickly, and that can be beneficial. I think there are some long-term impacts that have to be understood. So we got to continue to pay attention. I don't think we're at a destination, but we need some involvement from others, whether it's resolving litigation, perhaps some congressional help as Congress comes together in January. I think that's important for us to have.
What do you mean?
National standard.
They got to pass something?
Yes.
I thought that judge was passing something.
Well, we don't get. It's like college football. We don't get to just play on one field here. There's courts we have to deal with. There's litigation. There's states. There's legislation. I just went to the Charlie Brown moment, huh?
Yeah, you did. No. What you did is you broke some news to me that is like pretty devastating, because I just assumed we get an answer. Okay. April.
No. So there's an answer that's a framework that I think is important.
Framework.
Yeah, and I think that can resolve a lot of issues, but to have those national expectations reestablished, I do think. In fact, I'm not alone. There has to be some congressional involvement to set those common expectations. Otherwise, what's happening now is every state's passing a law The net of that is we're going to have college championships that are like state high school championships because we're not competing under the same standards. That's the issue that's front and center for the conversation.
Got it. And that revenue share should be able to help if you can get to the revenue marker, which SEC probably never has a problem with, but other conferences might. So will there be? I mean, it's a wild time. We're thankful that your brain's helping got it, though. Aren't we, boys?
Oh, yeah, Commish.
Aren't we, boys? Speaking of, Ty has a question for you. He's the Iowa guy.
Yeah, Commish, just curious, when you see, like Lane Kiffin trading barbs with people or some of these other coaches in your conferences, and then some of the other conferences, ADs are getting involved, kind of, squabbling and bickering over, we should be in, you guys' strength of schedule stinks or whatever. Is it ever tough for you not to just be like, you know what, whether it's a burner account or I'm just going to, have my own account, I'm going to hop in here and kind of just drop a nuke and end this whole situation and let these guys know in the Big 12 or the ACC, listen, you don't deserve to be in the playoff, okay? We deserve to get a fourth team or a fifth team in. How difficult is it kind of toeing that line?
Yeah, get some Twitter fingers.
I have a Twitter account.
Okay.
At Greg Sankey, very simple to find.
Okay. Follow.
I do not have a burner account. I have adult supervision, so before I tweet things, somebody else has to read it and approve it. So 2 weeks ago,
who's that person?
Herb Vincent. So you talked to Herb. Herb's over here. He's on the bench. Sometimes my wife, who may be watching right now,
smart.
I consult with her.
Always, every tweet is with her.
So 2 weeks ago, I tweeted just innocently, a comparison about strength of schedules in college football. Just a couple of weeks ago, just innocently. The amount of feedback and views and commentary was magnificent.
Can we pull that up?
I do weigh in. I mean, just innocently, I wanted to inform the public. That was about Bob Holt, who was the Arkansas Democrat writer who we just lost.
Rest in peace. He was probably another tweet that you put out?
You got to go back. It's a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. How often are you tweeting?
Never tweet on game days, really, because it's a tough venue.
Locked in
on Saturday.
You should think about just doing selfies at all the games.
I have a lot of filters on.
Yeah, smart. Me too.
I do that.
That's how we operate.
I tweet about what I read, but innocently, again, I just want to inform America about the distinctions and our strength of schedule versus others, and that provoked a bit of a reaction. So are there times I'd like to do more? Absolutely, but those who care about me and my life stop me from doing so.
Herb, let more fly.
Come on, Herb.
Come on, Herbie.
Let more fly.
I was on a call one time commenting on something, and I was about to say something very direct, which I said Herb was trying to hit the mute button. This was like 8 years ago, and I realized I should have let him hit the mute button.
No. Let it all fly, brother. Let it all fly. Interesting to read analysis from others, you say.
Again, I'm just providing information to America.
These are just things I heard from Massey and what was the other one?
Sagarin right there.
Yeah, right there. That's Sagarin right there. Right there.
And obviously these have changed, and we just took the top 15. I didn't build in all of our 16-team strength of schedule.
Man, this is a really interesting graphic I just happened upon, says the commissioner.
Yeah, I mean, this is about the care for the American people to share information in an information-consuming society.
All right, last question from the Thunderdome. AJ has one for you, Commish.
I have no idea what my Twitter account looks like right now from a comment standpoint.
No, it's hey, that's everybody. The bots will get you anyway, so don't even worry about it.
Commish, do you think? Don't worry. Yeah, you'll be fine either way. You don't need to read them. But of all these championship games going on, do these championship games still matter as much as they used to? And do you think going forward we're going to continue to they're going to be a huge deal for these teams?
In our league, it just means more is our mantra, and I think so. Let's go back to the start 33 years ago, 92, the first one of these, Florida and Alabama, just discussions about, wow, if Florida wins, the SEC is not going to be in the national championship hunt. That conversation has taken place. When you come to the Southeastern Conference, you come to challenge yourself among the best. And earning that conference championship has deep meaning. In fact, the fans that will show up here want to be a part of something special. Everyone else has followed with a conference championship game. And what I said to you earlier was, the reality is high-level competitors want to be on this field of play, challenging themselves against the best. That's part of the process. And I don't think any of us should apologize or become like shrinking violets and pull back to say, well, we don't want to do that because, maybe that has an implication down the road. No, competitors want to play in these venues and in these games.
I wanted a slow zoom in on your face there I tried to get because you were just cutting a impassioned promo for the Southeastern Conference and its history and everything that you cherish. It's the perfect reason why you're a great commissioner of this conference.
I appreciate that.
We appreciate your hospitality.
My enduring vision of the season is you standing next to that cannon when it didn't work, and then when it did work.
Thank you.
That was a jump.
I'm happy. Yeah.
It does it to me too.
It's a powerful cannon. You know, the guy carried a real live round in his hands, put it in the bucket whenever it didn't go off.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, we almost saw a cadet get
no hands.
Cadet it. Yeah, I mean, at what cost did that cannon almost go off? We almost lost a hand and arm out there.
We're good. There's safety regulations apply. Here we go.
Yeah, safety regulations do apply. They had a plan. They had a bucket.
Yeah.
They were obviously in there. Any SEC school would be prepared to operate with a cannon. And Mike Elko did tell me, yeah, that's what Aggies do. We adapt. We overcome.
That's right.
We face adversity. Now, that's where the live round just went into a bucket of water. Smart. Put the fire out. And then all of a sudden, guess what we have again? Greg saying another cannon ready to go, and then it blows a hole in my eardrum.
Yep.
So it is different down here, isn't it?
It is. Adapt to the circumstance. It's awesome.
Where will you watch the game? You got to walk, hit all these people. How many partners
with Bevo?
All kinds. My favorite thing to do is to be on the field for kickoff, watch a couple series. That's my happy moment. Like going to early games on a Saturday to Saturday basis where nothing else has happened during the day, be it the first game for kickoff and watch the first 10 minutes is actually at the top of my fun list on a weekly basis. After that, it's work, things happen, people complain, you never know. But to be on a field, generally in the end zone to watch the line play from the backside to see what happens is pretty cool. Like I was right there New Year's Eve a couple of years ago when that field goal missed and Georgia advanced to the national championship game. Right there by.
So you were right next to us. I think we were standing there as well. I caught a field goal in that game, remember?
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
I miss our on-field conversations in game. We used to do
They're
that.
coming. It's coming.
Oh, okay.
We got them coming. It's becoming simulcast season. It's
Awesome.
It's about to happen. Won't be happening here, but it will be
I
happening.
understand. If I see you, I'd love to have a conversation.
You know what? Every time we see you, we have a great conversation. You know what I would like to see? Bevo on this sideline.
Amen.
I mean, that's the problem.
Connor brought it
we
up.
looked at alternatives, and we have a limited space reality here.
What if you just kind of blocked off that whole entire, like, what would that be called there?
Deck.
Yeah, like the deck there. Just block that whole thing off.
Put them in a field
some
suite.
alternatives, but
Yeah.
we're going to go forward with the football game as is.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
Stop
take.
Back into it, like
We've provided some alternatives, but we are getting to the point now where you're going to focus on football.
yeah, we're going to play football.
Gonna have to take Uga into custody then, because that's an unfair advantage if Uga's on there and Bevo's not. Lock him up.
I guess that's one way to look at it.
Okay. Well,
He's over that.
Uga's a dog. Bevo pooped right over our shoulder at the Cotton Bowl last year. He's a massive animal. It is a shame he won't be here, but the magic will be in the air as the SEC champion is crowned tomorrow. Shout out to Dr. Pepper. We love Dr. Pepper down here. Huh?
Absolutely.
Are they your biggest partner?
They were first. They from day one with our championship game, Dr. Pepper's been a part of it.
All your other partners are here, though, too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Super Bowl type thing?
So I go up and visit, and they do a lot of activation. T-Mobile has a concert tomorrow around game day. Dan and Shay.
Oh, yeah. I heard they're doing it.
Yeah, we've got
Dan and
fire.
Shay?
I mean, we've got fire happening right now.
Pyro?
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't happen in other conferences on Friday.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Con man, have you ever seen anybody be, I guess he's a soldier for the cause, is what I would say. When people are all in for what they're supporting, for what they're running, right? He's all in the SEC.
Yeah, he is all in on the SEC. That stat about the strength of schedule is crazy. Going through that little graphic that he mentioned.
Sagarin,
yeah, all that shit. But it's also much easier to be like that when he's right. I feel like there's no argument really against what he's saying when you do look at how tough all the schedules are, how good all the teams are. Like he mentioned Vandy in there. Vandy has been one of the stories of the entire season, and that's not even a top half SEC team. So, Ty brought up South Carolina. Like South Carolina, they closed the season better than anybody did, and they're not really getting any consideration of hey, should this team really be in when it comes to Miami and Ole Miss right now? So it is true. Like he's a soldier for the cause, but pretty easy to be a soldier for the cause when you have the greatest army, if you will, in all of the conferences.
Yeah. He is trying to find those stats too,
Yeah.
It's not just, yeah. Interesting thing I just saw here. piece together.
Have you ever heard of Sagarin and whatever the other
Massey?
Massey?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sag and Mass?
Yeah.
We have. Just like you have. They judge good.
Yeah.
They're
What
the good
else do
judge.
they judge? If
That's it.
Movies, college
just-
football.
Phew. It's kind of a narrow focus for a
TV
company.
shows.
I think they did do movies. Remember, they were like thumbs up, thumbs down. Wasn't that Sag and Mass?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's Siskel and Ebert's half brothers.
Yeah, they're yeah.
Okay.
Sag and Mass.
They saw each other at the holidays.
Sag Siskel.
I do. You know what is not great for the entire narrative is that it was SAG, Mass, and ESPN. You know,
Yeah, those three.
And,
Average
the
those
first one
out.
was- ESPN was the first one. It gets loud, obviously, because our show's licensed through ESPN, and I'm on College Game Day, which is on ESPN.
Yeah.
People really do get pissed off about the SEC ESPN thing.
Well, they
like,
think-
of course, ESPN wants the SEC to survive. It's like ESPN also owns the ACC network, and I think they would like, I think, everybody to succeed. But there is a full narrative out there that ESPN wants SEC to do great. And it's like, just as a human that was an outsider and got dropped into this world, luckily, first of all, it's warm down here, so people are much more likely to be active on a more regular basis. Now, granted, there's a little chill in this stadium. People are acting like it's much colder than it actually is, though, so that's kind of making me upset. But nonetheless, it is warmer, and they've been just, these people live this shit down here everywhere. And I know in Ohio it's like that. And I know up there in Happy Valley it's like that. And I know at Michigan, they obviously have that massive stadium they fill up. It's like that. But it's like down here, these people, I think more people are living and dying with everything that's happening, which is why having a guy like Greg Sankey be the commissioner of it is the right move. He is down for the cause, to your point, in it all. But, college ball is going to be fantastic. Conference championships taking place. Big time bye and college football playoff on the line for 4 programs. And then maybe a group of 5 team would be ranked higher than the Big 12 champion that comes in. And maybe they get an opportunity to get a first round bye. But there's some championship games today, H. And look at that Western Kentucky Jacksonville State game right at the top right there. Big implications.
Is that Rich Rodriguez out there at Jacksonville State?
It is hosting the Conference USA Championship just a couple years into his tenure down there at Jacksonville State. Had to turn over the team, got a new quarterback. Yeah, he's hosting the championship game, and that's what Rich Rodriguez does. The lights have just come on down here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is obviously a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit nicer, and then there's some shadows in different places, I'm realizing. But championship weekend is phenomenal, H. These games matter. And Ohio State's not a part of it. Sorry about it.
Sad.
But this is a huge weekend with massive implications all across the country, H.
I mean, it really is. Think of the Penn State team. I know we talk to AQ every Wednesday. He's here in studio. But Penn State being a number 3 team playing against Oregon in the Big Ten championship, I feel like they've kind of flown under the radar with their success this season, haven't they?
Well, mostly because every big game they've had, they've lost. But this is a big one that they could win. If they beat Oregon, Oregon falls to the number 5 seed, which is obviously home playoff game and then lowest ranked champion in the second round. And I don't think Dan Lanning has that in him. But worst case scenario for Oregon coming out of the weekend is they have a home playoff game. Penn State, they can thrust themselves into a first round bye or find themselves having to travel for a first round playoff game instead of having a home game like has been chatted about basically all season for them. And then you think about that Clemson SMU game. I mean, that's the one that can really cause some real chaos. Real chaos there. SMU has been leading the ACC all year, but they haven't been the highest ranked ACC team in a college football playoff at all, except for like the last week or two. So if Clemson was to go in there and beat SMU, which Dabo Swinney certainly has cause to do, he said we're the first 15-0 college football national champion. We could be the first 3-loss national champion as well, but this SMU team is good. Jennings right there, able to spin it. Their team has changed. And Cade Klubnik, I think he had a big touchdown run against Pitt to win the game. He's really tried to take over on the ground. They're a different team than the team that played Georgia in the first week, although they did lose to Louisville about a month ago. So you're talking about a great football game here with huge implications because ACC is a P4 program. So if your highest ranked team is a top 10 team and they lose to Clemson, they're automatically just out of the college football playoff, even though they've been leading the ACC all year. And then Alabama is in over SMU.
Yeah.
And then if SMU knocks out Alabama, holy hell, now we got another Greg Sankey tweet coming right down the pipe. It's it's huge implications this weekend. I'm lucky I'm lucky that we're a part of a tiny bit of it. It should be a absolute blast, AJ.
It'll just be cool to see like the standard they set for the conference championship games. Because like if SMU does lose, like are you really going to say like, okay, hey, even though you had a great season and this is the first college football playoff and we want to keep these conference championship games to mean something, we're going to kick you out like as someone who actually was going for the conference championship? And then it's the same with Oregon and even Penn State. Like Penn State, if they were to, lose in a close game to Oregon, are you really going to now drop them below a Notre Dame who didn't play any game because of the fact that they made it to their conference championship? Like the Ward manual said, there's no more data points for the teams that aren't playing this weekend, which is kind of the 10 or 6 through 10 there, because at 11 they're still playing, or Bama's not playing, but those teams from 6 to 11, like it will be cool to see. And then Georgia's kind of the same type of situation. Like if Georgia wins, of course they do get a bye, but if they were to lose, are you really going to drop them further away where they might not even have a playoff game? Like it's fascinating to see what happens, and it really does, I feel like, all depend on the scores. It's not just like a win-lose situation. It's like, hey, these games, how competitive they are matters more almost than any of the matchups themselves.
My thing is like you just said, like you have to keep the conference. You can't penalize these teams for making. Like you brought up Georgia and SMU. Like no one's talking about Georgia dropping out of the playoff, even though they could. They're not going to. Like I don't think you could drop Georgia or SMU out with a loss. It just, you can't punish teams for making it to their conference championship.
Could you fathom that the Big 12 champion doesn't get a first-round bye and is the 5th highest champion? That would say
pretty embarrassing.
I mean, they could technically do. Could that happen?
As of right now, that's
going to happen.
I mean,
that is the situation as of right now.
Yeah, I mean, is there any, like, if you look at it as it stands right now, it's hard to imagine that there is any way they do get a first-round bye, regardless of who wins.
Yeah, just think about like the way if you're in a P4 conference, Power 4. Yeah, it used to be Power 5, now it's Power 4. We're in it. And all of a sudden it's like, actually, Mountain West is actually better than your particular conference. So now they're going to get a first-round game, some more exposure on TV, which is good for any program and anything like that. But it's like that 5-hole is a good spot to be. I think Oregon's the only team that can really get there. Should be a blast. Hey, did you hear about the NFLPA and the NFL?
No, what
hear
happened?
about this, H?
What'd they do?
So obviously a lot of things happening. I think there's something taking place with the testing of THC going forward too. So shout out to everybody doing that. That's obviously a cool thing. I don't fully understand it, but hey, listen, it seems like they're going to get rid of it. I was in the program, the substance abuse program. It is a nightmare. It is no fun. It is 8 random drug tests a month for 27 months. Okay, and obviously you get dropped in there for any alcohol or drug-related charge. I had a public intoxication with an alleged story. It could have been true. I mean, it could have been true. But nonetheless, I was in there. The conversation I'm talking about is surrounding the things that they're testing for. No more posting pictures of you getting drug tested. Okay? Here's frequently asked questions, says the NFLPA to all of their constituents. Can I post a photo or video of the white slip notifying me of a drug test? No. Can I post screenshots of text messages with my drug test telling me I have 4 hours to complete the test or it will be considered a fail? No. Can I post a photo, video, or audio from inside the drug testing room during the collection? Now, there's a good chance you're going to see my cheeks or maybe my belly button because shirt's got to go to nipples, pants got to go to ankles, and there's a dude in there. So I don't know if anybody's thinking about posting any photos or audio from in there. I will say one of my 200-some tests from the 27 months that I was in the program, I had 4 hours to complete the test or it's a fail. They called me. And one time they called me at 3:30 a.m. because they didn't believe that I was going Bigfoot hunting down here in Georgia. I was, and I was up. So I passed that test. But if I would have slept till about 8, that could have been considered a fail. So there was this one time I took a test. It was at the facility during the off season, and I had a 4-hour window. I was 3.5 hours into it, was able to utilize the restroom. Okay. So I go to the testing room. I say, hey, I believe I can piss. Mm-hmm. Let's go in there. Let's do the entire deep. I do it. I get enough because there's a certain amount you have to get. It gets tested. Drug test guy, new guy. They had not seen this guy.
Oh, no.
Shake.
Come on.
Spilling it.
Spills piss all over the desk. Now we don't have enough piss. Now we don't have enough piss to fill up the thing. I got 30 minutes. You got to generate a new one, he says.
No.
Me, I did. Pedialyte, dome. Pedialyte, dome. We're talking this whole thing. I am not getting a fail. A fail is like an extension of being in the program. There was no way I was going to do any of that. So yeah, I housed like 3 Pedialytes. So that would have been something I would have liked to take a video of to say like, hey, excuse me,
it's on him.
This is not on me. Innocent. Was it previously against the rules to publicly post such content? Yeah, it was. They said. However, there was no defined disciplinary framework. So was it?
No. So that means it was not.
Which meant the league had the discretion to impose fines that could have exceeded $15,000, which is what they're saying now. I do think I am an absolute doofus, but I think I'm actually the person that started this entire thing, legitimately. This was after I made the tackle on Trindon Holiday, and I got drug tested. A lot of people said that I made this up and it was fake. No, this is the actual thing that was put on my locker, and I thought it was hysterical because at that point I don't even think I was taking pre-workout or drinking coffee. It was pizza, and every once in a while you'd throw back a beer.
Right.
I didn't have to do the entirety of it all, but yeah, I think I posted that and people really got a kick out of it. Really got a kick out of it.
Must be my bod. You said at the end of the tweet. That's perfect.
Yeah, and that was back whenever I looked like a child upper body. I wasn't doing much upper body workouts. I had a little bit of a gut, which I still do because the way my body is built, like a spark plug, not a gazelle. But yeah, I think this is one of the. I don't know if it was the first. I think it was the first one. I'm not 100% sure. But because of the success it had, I was like, oh, this is funny. But you're only posting if you know you're not going to fail.
Yeah.
You're not going to be posting if you think you're going to fail. So I was like very confident I was not going to fail. So then I saw other people start posting. And I'm like, okay, this is a funny thing. But I was waiting on somebody to be like, what, you're going to test me? And then fail. And then it's like, then it's a big scene, a big situation. But they're banning it, AJ. I don't like it one bit. So they should be able to talk about being drug tested.
I know. So now the punishment is a $15,000 fine if you would post that picture now today?
Did it say exceeded?
The
hell was that?
It said it. Yeah.
That could have exceeded 15,000.
Okay.
So I think they're saying more than 15,000, but they didn't give an actual number. So that is certainly something.
We'll see the first person to do it. You know someone's going to do it.
Yeah, those are all steroid tests, not substance of abuse.
Yeah.
Those are all steroid tests. So there's people, that always say, I took Adderall over the weekend. I took this supplement that I didn't have listed. There was a real wild, wild west times there where I think people legitimately didn't know what was in their supplements in failing tests. Then I think there was a lot of people that were failing tests who knew exactly what they were doing and had an easy out just saying, the supplements, that didn't tell me. And then boom, this guy was on horse steroids and just able to kind of pass it off. Because the NFL never says anything, which is kind of a one-sided argument if you really want to get into it.
Yeah, it's up to the player, right, to say if they want to tell people what they tested positive for, which I feel like players don't really ever, unless they say, it's a tainted supplement. These pills I bought at the gas station.
You remember guys used, and I don't know how loud I'm talking. I assume it's pretty loud, but there's a lot of people around me, so I don't want to be too loud. You remember those guys were failing for extends there for a bit. You remember I had a teammate that said he failed for extends.
Is that real?
He said he took it, and he failed a test, and he said that was the reason why. And I'd never heard that before. I never heard anybody actually openly say that. He said it, so I was like, must be telling the truth. Why would you tell anybody that?
Yeah, can't be lying. I thought it was the gas station, hard-on pills that did it.
That's the horny goat weed?
Whatever they call it. Yeah, those are the ones, I guess, that people claim that they got popped for as well.
Now, see, I think Extends was a different animal. I'm not 100% sure.
Is that prescription-based?
I
think you get it over the counter.
Does it make it longer or wider?
Both.
Yeah, I think both. I think it does both. If you're a soup can, you can become an actual weapon downer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great week. We will continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live for the time being. And then we'll see you on Monday, beautiful people.
Comment how the Patriots do yesterday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Score more points than the Buckeyes.
They are dubbed the exciting Whites of the Philadelphia Eagles. If you would like to report that is their name.
Hey, there you go.
What did I say their names are?
The exciting Whites.
What was that?
Kind of like that. I like that.
There's an opening at West Virginia. Are you applying to be the head coach of the West Virginia University Mountaineers?
I might talk to you about that, Pat.
Okay.
It wasn't a no. Oh, wow.
Put it on the ticker.
Have you thought about whenever you are done playing, have you thought about any more getting into the media, watching Tom and Tony on their call games? Is that something you ever could see yourself doing at any level?
One of the things I really love about you and I love about this show, Abe, is that you can sit there with your fake books behind you.
Whoa, what?
And your Gatorade cup between your legs.
To urinate, you know that.
And you can ask me a question that's a rhetorical question, Woodcock, because you already know the answer to that. But you can ask it straight faced to try and get people to think that I'm gonna give a new answer. That's what I fucking love about you.
That's why we love it. That's why we love him.
Don't ever change, bro. The answer is no.
For now, maybe.
He said he was just giving a first down signal, but it did appear as if he saw somebody in the crowd and shot him.
They misinterpreted.
Mahomes got fined for what he did. Pickens is going to get $100,000 for doing that.
I had a side by side with him and somebody else.
Was it a frozen frame? Because was there a person on the receiver?
Was it Nico Collins did it on Sunday and didn't get called for it.
So you can just shoot up in the air, but you can't shoot directly at someone's face?
I think intent of whether or not there was bullet coming out of fingers would have murdered somebody, or if it was just a random spray.
Has anybody on this show ever drank urine?
AJ.
No. It's a thing, but no. It's always me.
Just to test it, it dropped. Like,
Drink your own piss. Sweet.
No, I haven't. I'm curious.
What other fluid
I
you drink?
figured out of all 8 guys or 9 guys, somebody had.
You put that through the life straw as well, Diggs? Big frothy load.
Oh, no.
Big frothy load.
Get the water out of it.
Froth.
Much easier from here at this desk, but
They said that's for you. They said this is the one you like to play with. Looks just like a helmet.
You want to put?
Who are they going to get? Maybe they hire this thing.
Oh.
What is that?
It's the Oregon Doctor, the Oregon Doctor, the Oregon Doctor. Hey! No. Right back at you. Right back. Oh! The guy with the diaper. Oh, waffles. Oh, he's got waffles. Oh. Where's the syrup, Chuck? You know what I mean.
Chuck got one in his beak.
Oh, 2 for 2. Yeah, you got those little bird legs. You're going to have to.
Not bad.
Quack. Quack, 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 quack. Go, Dahn!
Jesus.
God.
Take a little off, Dahn.
Oh, catch and shoot.
40 people, $500. Ah! Duck!
I'll tell you what, after last week, I have no idea what to expect. I will say, since Kirk Herbstreit is rolling around in a Bentley right now to a plane, Nick Saban will be the holder today for the field goal kicking contest. $80,000. Rob McElwainey's here, obviously absolute dog, owner of Wrexham, obviously his soccer team, and also It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think you have 10 other investments. This guy might be a billionaire. I have no idea, but he is awesome and entertaining. Kyle, you're a junior here, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Pat.
Have you ever talked any trash about kickers before?
Of course I have, Pat. Come on now.
This was his sign that he brought today. This guy. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before your first hold on TV?
Good luck, man. That's all I can tell you. I'm rooting for you.
Did you ever hold before?
Yeah, when I was in high school. That was a long time ago.
Okay, you're going to do great. Rob, former soccer player, maybe sign him to Wrexham after he makes this kick or no?
Look how confident he looks. I mean, I would be shaking. He seems very, very confident. I think he's going to make it.
Go! Go! 80,000, Kyle! All you got to do is put it through the uprights. Nick Saban, the greatest of all time, on the call. Oh, no. Spiral. Throw a completion down the left side.
Wow. I say give him another kick.
Rob, he immediately blamed the holder. Okay.
I don't know, but it looked like it was coming back. It wanted to come back. If it had a little bit more distance, it might have gone in.
Coach Saban, does he deserve another kick, you think, or what? Oh, no, Steve, bad throw.
Another kick.
I want to make Coach die.
That's smart, yeah, make him play. Coach, you think he deserves another shot?
Let's give him another shot.
Okay.
Make it.
This one for $100,000, Kyle. Nick's looking out for me here a little bit of coaching.
Where it's, yeah.
Rob, what was your
right
did
there.
you graduate?
I did not go to college, so I've adopted Oregon as my home.
If you were to go, would general social sciences be your thing? Hey, hold on, Kyle. Good luck.
Come on, Kyle.
$100,000 in Oregon. What about? Hey, all right, Kyle. I feel like you hustled me a little bit.
Yeah.
Your second kick was so much better than your first. Shout out to Nick for the hold.
How important is the holder?
Hold is the most important.
Great, man. Congratulations. That's great.
This thing is getting expensive, Reese. It's what's that coming down the track? It's the meat machine in the red and black. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Go dogs, go dogs. Sick 'em.
Wow.
Give me Alabama to break.
What happened just now? Whoa. What just happened? Unbelievable. Do I have to pick?
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
See that belt buckle?
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up. They start shaking it. They go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, Mason? Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able what sign am I going to make for College Game Day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The poop kickers are getting some way down here. Hey, a lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there.
That's full commitment, by the way.
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back, hour 3 of the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting here at Pat's desk. He's in Atlanta. Already had some great guests. Greg Sankey, Nick Saban, Deion Dawkins coming.
Football!
It's what's happening. Pat, how you doing? A lot of activity, it feels like, during the break behind you. A lot of stuff going on. Trying to get stuff situated.
Of course there's a lot of activity, bud. The SEC Championship's here tomorrow, okay? They were going to do a sound check during our break there. They actually blew it off. They said, we don't want to interfere or anything. We'll do it afterwards. So every minute that we talk into these microphones, we are certainly delaying some rehearsal somewhere else, but we want to let everybody know we thank you for the hospitality. How about Sankey coming in?
Dog.
Legend.
How about Sankey coming in? Then Coach Saban, obviously. I mean, he's a guy who has become one of the great voices of college ball this entire season. You know, I saw Sports Illustrated talked about Woj being the biggest media story of the year, him retiring and then going to St. Bonaventure to be the general manager. And I think they're very good right now, too, right?
8-0 against spread.
Yeah, ATS they are.
Yeah, and there's more information coming out about like how he was making $7 million. Now he's making like $75,000, and I think he has a form of prostate cancer. I mean, it's like, hey, Woj, we're pulling for you, Bob. Pulling for you. Thanks for your commitment to the sport for as long as you did it all. And I agree, that's a massive story of media. It certainly is, because it involves a lot of things. You know, GMs for a college team, massive insider, you know, business. It is big deal, and obviously. Cancer diagnosis and the outcry, or not outcry, but the outcrying support. Yeah, I guess outcrying support of his whenever he retired. But like Nick Saban just dropping into College Game Day and becoming like one of the greatest analysts on television out of nowhere is a awesome media story from this year. Every time he comes on here, I feel like I get smarter. I laugh. I learn some new saying, and like how comfortable he is. And knowing who he is, whenever he said they need to know what to do, they need to know how to do it, and they need to know why they need to do it, it's like he does that with TV as well. And it's like he has been awesome. So I'm thankful he stops by every single week with us, AJ. And this is fun, man. We're already at the championship weekend. This is flown by.
Everything goes fast, man. It's true. I think the older you get, too, the faster things go. Maybe just because you actually pay attention for once. For me, at least, that's how I am. I guess sometimes I actually pay attention and look around like, okay, yeah, this is pretty sweet. We better slow it down.
Yeah, bingo. That's what I'm saying. We're already at the SEC championship. It's
Crazy.
like, this is just...
Remember when we were complaining about no football early in the summertime?
Yeah.
Like, whenever there's no football, even
Bingo.
like preseason, and you think about, man, is football ever going to get here? And then, boom, you look up and it's December 6th.
Week 14, brother. There's 18 weeks in the NFL season.
Yeah. Remember when the Celtics won the championship and thinking like, man, we need football, and then football for New England was over like October 10th.
Wow.
No, but the future's still very much in play, which is good news.
Then we got to see Drake May, and it did bring a whole different revival of the season.
A lot of hope.
I'd like to say thank you to football. Thank you, football.
Love you, football.
We do love you, football. That's the Toxic Table at Boss O'Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
So when I said that, was it on time with you guys or off time?
Yeah,
On time. Spot.
Timing it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's 10 digs right there, AP 10. Then the boys in the back, fantastic work today, everybody. And shout out to the ESPN crew that set up this on-site thing here at the SEC Championship right on the sideline. It's starting to become a little bit of an annual tradition. Speaking of annual, think about how fucking dumb our show is. Speaking of annual traditions, every single week, except for last week, AJ and I pick the entire board of the NFL slate. And we are going to do that once again. AJ got a big win last week. Hey, way to go.
Hi, baby Hawker. Kind of a COVID championship.
We both
if
got
you
a
will.
great win last night, though.
Bingo, plus 3.5. We all were on the Packers, so congrats to Chuck, congrats to you, congrats to me. We're all on winning side starting it. Now let's go to Carolina Panthers traveling to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are a wagon. I think a lot of people would say they are the team right now that people think could win a Super Bowl if it was next week. Detroit Lions a little bit too banged up on the defensive side. Philadelphia Eagles on the flip side have all their stars playing. They are a wagon. Are they a big enough wagon to win by 2 scores against against a surging Bryce Young in Carolina Panthers. Is there any information we need to know about this one, boys?
No, I think they're good to go. I'm not sure if Devonta Smith's going, and I think Goddard is week to week. I don't think he's supposed to play this week.
I remember.
Okay.
I remember Shefty at the beginning of the week, or maybe it was last week, saying Devonta almost went last week, so he should go this week.
Correct.
Okay, so that's a big piece of information. Saquon Barkley is having an MVP-like season. The offensive line, phenomenal. AJ, are they good enough to win by 14?
Yeah, they absolutely are, but I don't know if they will on this day. Give me the Carolina Panthers plus 13 here, Pat.
Wow.
Carolina Panthers have been playing great ball.
There's a lot of hope in Carolina, I feel like. So I feel like they're going to find a way, at least maybe if they're down by a little bit at the end, maybe not a garbage touchdown, but they're going to continue to fight. Yeah, a little backdoor cover.
Give me the Eagles. I love Tepper and the team. I love Tepper and the team down there, how they've been operating the last few weeks. Good luck to them in the future. Give me Nick Sirianni and the Philadelphia Eagles. What was they saying about Sirianni this morning? He was taking some shots, wasn't he?
Yeah, kind of the same deal. Just, basically the reason everyone gives him shit on TV is because facts are facts. We just don't like this guy as much as we like Dan Campbell. So maybe that's...
Who said that? Ryan RC said that, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it wasn't like he was saying him personally, but he was saying as a whole, like... We just, there's just something about Sirianni that's inherently unlikable, and that's why, that's why we don't give him the benefit of the doubt like we do Dan
versus
Campbell.
MCDC. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and Ryan's just doing the same thing we do, observe and report, plus his own personal opinion. So, and he's obviously phenomenal on TV. He's won an Emmy for most outstanding personality over everybody else in sports media. So he is just, talking from his perspective. I like both those guys.
Yeah, both awesome.
I think Philadelphia's starting to like Sirianni too again. Mm-hmm. I think they are remembering why they like him, and I think you blow out this Carolina Panthers team at home, boy, there's going to be some Sirianni stuff afterwards, and I'm here for it, man. I am here for it. Falcons, this is their home right here. Nice home, good place.
Great place.
Beautiful.
The roof kind of opens up like a sphincter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
kind of
just like that.
It's a butthole stadium,
like a balloon knot. Kind of the way it kind of opens up there, kind of the way it twists around. Yeah. It is a beautiful stadium, though. Obviously, Arthur Blank has a lot of money, and fine people of Georgia contributed greatly. And who knows if it was the final price that they thought it was going to be to build this place, but it is glorious down here. The Falcons call it home. They're getting 5.5 points traveling to the beautiful U.S. Bank Stadium up there in Minnesota. I have boots on the ground in Minnesota. Michael Cole, it is cold. Okay.
Cups.
It is cold. Does not matter because it's an indoor game, but does it, AJ? When you wake up in the morning in a cold town, do the bones feel a little bit differently? Is this Minnesota Vikings team ready to beat Dahn, this Falcons squad, fresh off a Kirk Cousins 4-interception game? AJ, who do you like? How do you like it?
So in this one, man, I like where the Vikings are at right now. I like where they are, like where they're trending in the right direction in my eyes. So I'll give me the Vikings minus 5.5. Now Kirk has, I think, a big bounce back game, and they go out and they dominate and they win this thing, or they continue and Kirk maybe has a few more turnovers and the team does not rally around him.
Revenge game for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, big time revenge game.
Yeah. Probably still has his house, right? Where they had a good fire in the back.
I believe he sold it.
Did he really? How could you say it's a good fire pit?
That's sad. It was.
And then that locker room, downstairs room he had?
Yeah, a little secret door deal.
Who's buying it? It has to be another player, I guess. He just goes to whoever gets drafted and said, I got it. I got the house for you. Good fire pit in the back. I got a locker room in the basement. Yeah, maybe J.J. McCarthy buys it. Flips that thing right over to the Michigan Wolverines locker room. And remember, Kirk Cousins, what's he doing with that head brain scan thing? Remember that thing?
Yeah, to stay locked in, stay focused. I believe he's still doing that. I wonder, especially him being back in Minnesota, maybe he goes and sees those two olds who work on his body. Maybe he gets a fresh body, fresher than ever. His old routine, maybe.
You're right.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the older folks that worked on him in Hard Knocks, and then also were specialists in the basement. I thought that was very charming. And give me Kevin O'Connell.
Okay.
It's a lot of points. Kirk is a bounce-back QB.
I'm going to take Falcons plus 5.5. I'll take the Falcons plus 4.
Bit of a waffle.
Who do you like in this game?
I like revenge Kirk. He's probably got those doctors working on his body now that he's back in Minnesota, too.
Yeah, Gump couldn't hear what we were doing. He was clipping over there. He's thinking the same thing we're thinking, though. Give me the Falcons plus 5.5.
It's a good angle. Good angle.
I think Vikings win, though. Yeah, if we're all feeling the same way.
He's a bounce back guy.
He is. Once you get those fingers that know your muscles.
Bingo.
It's like a muscle memory thing. Once those 4 older hands start, kind of reworking their way through Kirk, and they say, we're getting to work on Kirk again. And then there's a whole song that is sung. Kirk's going to feel those good vibes, those good energies, those good fingertips. Maybe don't have as smooth as nails as they once had. Maybe there's like a little sharp nail on one of them.
A little more
maybe like the right ring finger of the guy doesn't have a completely smooth nail. So at one point while he's doing that thing, Kirk gets scratched in the back. Ah! But that's just grit. We heard it on that quarterback Netflix series. Kirk didn't mind getting his ass kicked and getting right back up.
Right.
And that's what happened last week. He got his ass kicked. Now he's going to get back up. Just like he's going to be able to get off that bed when that right ring finger scratches the shit out of his hamstring because the nail wasn't completely smooth. Kirk Cousins, yeah, I like it. Plus 5.5. I think the Vikings win, but 5.5 feels like it's a good spread. Jacksonville Jaguars getting 3.5, traveling up to beautiful Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Titans. Tell you what, seems like it's your big nothing burger in the relevance conversation. Boys, anything to think about whenever we're making this pick?
I think you think about leaving it off the TV. Mac Jones, Will Levis. This is the poop bowl of all poop bowls.
Calvin Ridley revenge, maybe, potentially.
Oh, yeah, but who's getting him the ball?
That's good. I mean, Will Levis. I mean, he's one of the brightest young stars in our league.
This is a big, hey, who's going to have the number 1 overall pick this year bowl. So I don't know if one team wants to lose more than the other team as well.
Doug Peterson wants to lose that one. Give me his future's good, right? He's good down there?
Allegedly, his future is good until the end of the season, and then they will fire his ass.
So that's the current, right? That would not be...
I mean, unless he has a sweet house.
He doesn't look like he's enjoying himself. What? It might be an Eberflus situation, like I'm about done here.
Yeah, you think his moxie's been drained from down there?
He's not the Dougie P I remember from the Philly.
Yeah, but Dougie P goes down to Jack's Beach 2 or 3 times and says, you know what, it's beautiful down here. And he says, we'll reload this thing for next year. Maybe Dougie P isn't always completely checked out.
It is nice down there.
It is. It's not bad.
A few pina coladas in the summertime.
If you like pina colada.
And the best roster in the game.
We overpaid a quarterback. Some people say that he's lame. But he's got a bright future. This kid's been known for so long. And you look at that hair. It's growing, gone. Give me the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
Nice.
Wasn't sure which way you were leaning on that one. I'll take the Titans as well. -3.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the Titans. Give me the Jets.
I wasn't sure.
Give me the Jets Dolphins. 5.5-point favorites at home. Gumpy favored by 5.5 at home against an Aaron Rodgers who says, "Hey, it's about pride, boys. It's about the name on the back of our jerseys and the emblem on the side of our helmets." We signed up to play 17 games. We go down to Miami. We don't go to Tootsie's. We don't go to the second floor and get shoulder rubs. We focus on a football game. Dolphins, 5.5 at home. Gumps, how do you feel?
Anthony Walker back and Kendall Fuller back. Big for our defense. I think we bounce back, win this thing.
Are you guys still in the hunt?
Oh, we're still in the hunt. Just got to win out, Pretty easy schedule.
Yeah.
Just got to go on the road to Houston, Cleveland, and New York. You got to win the cold at some point.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. They haven't been able to, obviously. That's a big storyline. Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets plus 5.5 down there in Miami. I think Aaron's going to feel like he's 22 down there in that humidity and that heat. He's going to be running all over the place. They need to have a good one at some point. 5.5 feels like a good number.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a trap game maybe for the Dolphins, so give me the Jets. As you said, they're going to get down there and feel pretty good in that heat, and Gumpy, unfortunately, might not be that happy after this one.
A Hard Knocks game. Cleveland Browns traveling to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hard Knocks, AFC North, was fantastic on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on Mox. Used to be HBO, then it became HBO Max, because it used to be Cinemax with some people. Used to get the lotion out and call Skinemax. Came down to just Max. Then it was HBO Max. Then Max wins. It's just Max. So, worth a watch. This is going to be a pivotal part of this particular episode coming up. This is an old school rivalry. Dahn's not like in other Dahns. And I think NFL Films is going to be able to showcase that, broadcast that. Classic AFC North battle here. Browns get a win just a few weeks back over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now Steelers favored by 6.5 at home. Tone Diggs, do you like being favored by 6.5 at home? Do you like the sportsbook saying you should win by about a touchdown? Or do you hate this spot knowing that Myles Garrett heard what TJ's lack of happiness and Jage's lack of happiness did to him, and now they're 6.5-point dogs after just getting a win? Myles is going to use that as a chip to stack on his big-ass shoulders, and he might wreck the game. What are your thoughts, Tone?
Yeah, if you remember that Thursday, us Steelers fans did not have a good feeling about that one. Thursday night, primetime, lone game, everyone's eyes on it, on the road, in the division, against the Browns. That one didn't feel good. This one, at home, back at the shore, 6.5-point favorites, 1 o'clock game, should take care of it. Feel good about this one.
Okay, 6.5. AJ, do you feel good about the Cleveland Browns covering, or do you think the Steelers have a, you know what, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers type of game?
See, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are great. I don't know why Tone's claiming he didn't feel good going on. You don't think you can go on the road and win a primetime game? You're the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, I just did. That day just didn't feel right.
I'll take the Cleveland Browns here, plus 6.5.
I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers minus 6.5 at home, and I can't wait to watch on Hard Knocks how it all came together.
Cleveland has lost the last 20 regular season games in Pittsburgh.
Well, they can still lose this one.
I don't know why you had to throw that stat
by 6.
I like that little
Felt relevant.
announcer curse.
Throw in Jameis to throw a
20 in a
pick
row?
as well. It's must bad at this point.
I mean, yeah, he's going to give the ball to the Pittsburgh Steelers once.
No, he prayed.
might throw it for-
I think he talked to our Lord and Savior.
That was just for pick
Pick
sixes.
sixes.
Oh, okay.
Pick sixes.
He knows that
Guys
the Lord
get
can't
tackled
deliver
now.
him from
You're right,
picks.
Yeah, guys will get tackled. They won't be able to score.
That's asking a lot.
So, deliver us from pick sixes, arise from the ashes. Amen. Saints, New York Giants. Giants getting 4 at home against a gritty Saints team without Taysom Hill. Let's go to Bruce Brown in the back. Bruce, is there any reason we should pick the New York Football Giants?
No, the only reason is that it's our last chance to win this season. That's the only upside. Neighbors not practicing. Sexy Dexy's done for the year. Nice upstart rookie tight end Theo Johnson. He's done for the year. I'm excited about a undrafted linebacker that we got coming back off the IR. I'm excited to watch him play, but no real reason.
Me.
You know what I'm excited about over there? We took the roof off at the MetLife. Darren Rizzi's going to blow out the bottom of that place before that game starts with a big old dump. We know that. He's a routine guy, and I think he has his team ready to go into MetLife. Give me the Saints minus 4.5. Minus 4, not half.
Minus 4, yeah, okay. Yeah, Saints minus 4. I am with you for sure. I can't pick against Rizzi, and I don't know what the New York Giants what do the Giants look like next year?
Poop.
Honestly.
Yep. Absolute poop again.
Yeah, they might have Bill Belichick as their head coach, though, right? Head coach GM.
That'd be cool.
Shadur, hopefully.
Joe Shane.
Moore.
John Mara said, hey, I don't expect to make changes. So I think there's a chance he's just lying, but he said that. So I don't know. Maybe that they run it back with him.
He also said, I don't want to get rid of that guy, and then they get rid of that guy. So, Mara, how much weight is he, is that guy able to make a decision at this point? That's a whole nother take from the Hard Knocks that I don't even want to dive into. Mara, the owner of the team, clearly, very clearly and evidently, did not want to move on from Saquon. Now, I respect and appreciate him saying, hey, I hired a general manager, you do your job. But with how it's working out now, you got to wonder, hey, why didn't Morris pound the table for his guy as an owner? But then if he's two hands on now, he's Jerry Jones. That's a tough spot to be in over there, and they suck. Give me the Saints. I like the Saints. Let's go Raiders, Buccaneers. Raiders getting 6.5. Tough game last week for that Raiders team. Tough game. Antonio Pierce said, let's call it like it is. We're the worst team, they're the best team. Let's change the narrative. How it goes. Buccaneers, hot team. Okay, Tampa Bay. What Baker Mayfield's been able to do down there. Mike Evans had that bananas catch last week. Just absolute bananas. He's going to have a touchdown. That seemingly happens every single week. I like this Tampa Bay Buccaneers where they're headed. Give me them favored by 6.5 at home.
I'm going to ride with you here. Tampa Bay at home, minus 6.5. Yeah, I feel like they win by hopefully 10, 14 points. Raiders, I'm not sure. Another team. Hey, what do they look like next year as well? Future, who knows? I don't know if it looks bright or not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at a bird game. Seahawks taking on the Cards.
Wow.
And I do find some real solace that in a bird-heavy team league, the greatest bird in the league right now is the American bald eagle
right.
and the
Well
Philadelphia Eagles. Amen. I have a family of these fucking things living outside my house. They're big. These things are big.
Really?
And when they take off, it's like one of those small planes that you like to fly on, Age, taking off. It's like the Wright brothers are taking off from the front yard. It is insane. And they are a savage animal. I mean, they will pick a duck up, bash it off of ice, and eat it right in front of you. So I like, that the Eagles are the strongest bird of a bunch of bird mascots in the NFL. Now, these two birds, Seahawks, Cardinals, wow. Both very much in the conversation. Cardinals, holy hell, this team's going to be leading the NFC West at some point in this particular season. Oh, yeah. Kyler Murray is going to have his best season as a leader and as a quarterback for the Cardinals. Oh, yeah. Well, how about the Seahawks? They just kicked Pete Carroll out of the building, brought in a defense coordinator from Baltimore Ravens. They don't have it figured out, do they? Geno's too old. They finally wrote back. Now they're both very much in it for that NFC West. And don't look now, the Rams also playing good football. I will take the Seattle Seahawks plus 2.5 in Arizona. AJ, who do you like?
So I know the head coach just had a kid, his first child this week, correct?
Yeah, yeah, baby boy.
Baby boy.
Sweet baby boy.
That can a lot of times can give you that extra oomph you need. But I will take the Cardinals at home minus 2.5.
Okay.
Little baby McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Baby McDonald had a name. It was win the first game. Oh, W-I end the game. W-I end the game. W-I end the game. And baby McDonald won it. That's what I think.
He's going to be in
first game.
A front-facing baby Bjorn, I heard. For the game.
On the field.
That'd be
Calling
awesome.
plays.
Yep.
Calling
Little
plays.
baby headset, yeah.
Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Rams, and the Buffalo Bills are awesome to watch. Fun team to watch play football. Their jubilance is something that radiates through the screen whenever you see them. From the offense to the defense, special teams even. It's like that Bills team, and then we talk about the Detroit Lions being America's team, because everything and the story and how Dan Campbell goes about operating, how they play and how tough they are, and it's like easy to fall in love with the Lions. It certainly is. And Foxy, I love that your team's doing that for you. I do, Foxy. Yeah. But this Bills team, you watch them play, it's easy to fall in love with them too, especially with their history as a team, especially with their recent history and long-term history of the Buffalo Bills. With their fan base, this team feels different. So I think Bills Mafia invades Los Angeles for this one completely. This is going to be a Bills Mafia game. This is a home game for Josh Allen, and I think the Bills win in a big way, even though I like where the Rams are and where the Rams are headed at the moment.
I think you hit it right on the head. You said the Buffalo fans, they invade L.A. Absolutely. Can you imagine the great weekend? They're probably flying out this morning, getting there, having a beautiful weekend, L.A., seeing the sights, seeing everything, and then go hopefully win a game on Sunday. So, yeah, Bills minus 3.5 in L.A.
There was a group of dudes that are very important that just walked around here in the back. And the guy in that, I don't think we should show him. I think they are a very important crew there. The guy in the back might have the greatest helmet in the history.
I might grow my hair out like that.
Yeah.
That looks phenomenal.
That guy
Can we please?
Helmet? You mean like
It's Costanza, but gray. It's
He's gone.
Unbelievable flow on the
He
side.
disappeared quickly. I mean, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for existing. That was
blowing in the wind.
I mean, this thing was Hulkster, but real, but all the way.
Yeah.
It was
Legend.
It was awesome. No bandana though either. That was real. He wanted to showcase his whole head. Wanted to showcase his whole head. Shout out to that guy. He was a nice man too. It was a very good way. If you have a helmet like that, I assume you're a good guy. Okay, let's go to the Bears 49ers. Z, you think you guys got this one or what? Very close the last few weeks. Very close.
It doesn't help. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift both have quad injury. They haven't practiced yet. I can imagine DJ Moore will play, but...
this is like a Pittsburgh Steelers offense traveling to Cincinnati game, potentially, in the way Tone Diggs described it.
I don't think
you
we have a running
travel
back.
out. Yeah, okay, so give me the Niners. Niners need one, too. Niners need
What
a
about
big
the
one.
interim bump? Isn't there an interim bump?
There is an interim bump.
Yeah.
There is.
Does that outweigh the
But
no
there's
running
also a Niners must win for the 8th straight week in a row.
Yeah, give me the Niners here as well, Pat.
Guarendo's the starting running back now, who's kind
Hold
of
on, what did I? Didn't this happen earlier in the year where I said there's no way the interim bump isn't going to work?
Yeah,
Saints.
It was Saints. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then what I say? I said I'm never listening to that again. I have to do the interim bump. Didn't I say that?
I'm all over.
You did.
You did.
All right, I'll take the Bears plus 3.5.
Let's go.
I mean, the vibes in San Fran are super good right now, though.
I'm hearing the
Why is
opposite.
that?
Excuse me?
I don't know if I'm hearing the same thing, Diggs.
What are you guys hearing? I want to hear what you guys are hearing. I like to be a part of that.
No,
That'd be fun.
there was a chance I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
Oh, Age was hearing stuff for real. Age, what are you?
I don't
What
know.
do you
I was
hear,
hoping
Ace?
they were keeping a positive outlook. I know things haven't
They're
gone
not
the way that they
celebrating
like.
touchdowns anymore.
What are you talking about?
They're not celebrating touchdowns anymore.
What do you
We
mean?
got win games. Celebrate.
Somebody said something about Juszczyk fumbling that ball on the goal line.
Oh, right.
Say he wasn't worried
I think
about
that was
ball.
you.
I didn't
All
say
right.
it. Somebody they were saying it on the internet. He wasn't worried about ball. I didn't say it.
Give me the Bears plus 3.5. I hate it, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do
I have
it.
the Niners.
That's tough. That's
I made a
tough.
deal with
That's
myself
tough
earlier.
bump. It's a tough bump, though. I don't know if the interim bump was factored in with starting wide receiver and running back out. I don't know if that changes it. I think it does.
Hey, where are you? Hey, team. Hey, team. You're a handsome man. What's up, brother? There's some very impressive people walking through here. I want to let you know. Very powerful looking people. Good quads. A lot of good bases on these people.
I like that.
You know, 'cause I start to wonder if things are going to happen. Like, do you attack and you go from the bottom and just kind of like, you know, if you have to take them down, how you get there? Good base on a lot of these guys walking around.
It's a lot of Texans.
Like
passing
Corduroy? Is that corduroy on the coat on the elbow pads? there?
Yeah, that
Oh,
is-
that's Georgia.
Patches.
That's right. Can't be beat.
yeah, we got Cowboy. Yeah.
Elbow patches are normally a Georgia thing. In the
I assume there's going to be some really powerful people that have a lot of security with them at this game tomorrow.
Probably.
I am going to assume.
DJ?
Maybe. I don't know. Last year, right?
Yeah,
No.
last year, I thought.
No.
This feels like one, right? Doesn't it? But if that's the case, there would have to be like, which might be what's going on right now. Yeah.
He's
maybe,
going to Army Navy.
Maybe.
I know that.
What's that, next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Philly.
Have you ever heard about what they have to do to the building to get or to the stadium?
No.
So obviously you got to put they put bulletproof glass in the suites, but the suites already have glass, so they have to replace the glass with the bulletproof glass. And then they actually obviously have to have the entire area secure, and then they got to have people in a bunch of different spots. And some of these lookout spots already have a bunch of people that are a part of it. Well, we need to add more people in there because these guys actually are the senior operating guys that are in this thing. So it is a full-on. It's kind of fun to watch them like map it out. It's like, oh, this is. Yeah, can't be having a president get shot at a fucking SEC championship game.
Oh,
you know,
definitely
like that.
not.
But first of all, how'd they get the gun in here? Speaking of that sidewalk thing in New York City, it showed up in my dreams last night too, Connor.
Yeah, it's real. Like if you're thinking about it and
What do
you
you
watch it enough. I said yesterday I had a dream I got shot yesterday after watching the.
By the same person?
No, it was a different
Just that
man.
situation.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
just walking through a parking lot, hear someone behind you, and you just walk a little faster, and then poof, and then you wake up. Holy fuck! But you're still alive.
That didn't happen to me. Guy missed. Shout out to me.
You missed?
In my
Shout out
dream.
to you.
Shout out to me, yeah, because I was walking
I got pops.
with a lot of anxiety through it, and I don't remember if it was a sidewalk or a parking lot. It's weird how your dreams have the ability to do that. Just like, yeah, you're at your house, but it's not like your house at all. Like your dream, you know, like that whole thing. I'm walking, I hear, turn, peek, you know, quick peek, boom. Didn't crocodile walk or whatever it was. Didn't alligator.
Little zigzag.
Or zigzag. Didn't do the zigzag walk, but did bail. And then I got into a chase, and then I woke up like obviously sweating. I mean, it was a full thing. That video being the way that just happened is crazy to think about. And then you see the internet said that he was smitten with some girl, and he was like, hey, he wanted to flash a smile.
That's
Did you
always,
see about?
it's always how they get got.
Saw that. Also saw.
Who
people
knows if that's
saying-
real?
Yeah, people also saying clearly not the same person. So there has been some debate over that too as well.
Yeah, because jackets different colors, but is it the lighting and the place? I mean, there's that happening in real world has messed me up. Just want to let everybody know.
Yeah,
and I'm going to get better from it. I'm going to get tougher from it. We got one last game to pick. Chargers, Chiefs. Is the Chiefs still the Chiefs to the tune of a 4-point favoritism at home against AFC West rival Los Angeles Chargers? Age, who do you like? How do you like it?
So I'm taking the Chiefs because I take the Chiefs every week, and I think I get beat every single time. I'm taking the Chiefs at -4, and they probably win by a field goal at the end. So, yeah, there we go.
Okay. I will take the Chargers because I, like you, normally take the Chiefs, and then we inevitably heartbreak. I think Chiefs still win game because the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and that's what the Chiefs do. 4 points is a lot. Congrats to the Chargers in my eyes. That's a good slate, AJ. You did a great job. Now, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at a part of the season where awards are being given out to NFL players. You know, there's the Offensive Rookie of the Year, there's the Defensive Rookie of the Year, the Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. There's a Salute to Service Award winner who, across the NFL, who has helped out or given back to the military more than anybody else. There's obviously the MVP. There's so many things, but the one that is held in the highest of regards by most players and buildings is the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor to get a chance to chat with a few of these guys who have been selected by their teams for what they do in the communities in which they live. From the Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen, absolute dog, Dahn Dawkins. How you doing, man?
What up, man? I appreciate y'all. I be seeing that, and it's you guys take a lot of indignity in watching the right film, man. Because, you know, the trenches is where it gets real treacherous.
Okay, so AQ Shipley actually broke down some film because they were trying to punish you for a move that you were, AQ I think said the greatest of all time at, which is the swat Dahn on a bull rush, and these refs weren't keeping an eye on it, so then all of a sudden they think it's a holding. It's like, I just utilized their leverage with my athleticism and beat them. So I appreciate you seeing that. That was all AQ Shipley. You said you were getting robbed out there, Dahn.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's an art. It's an art. It's a dangerous move because if you don't do it the right way, you could end up in the quarterback's lap. But when it comes down to it, it's finally a chance where, you know, you could kind of be the attacker and not be attacked. Because, like, you know, like this offensive line thing, it's a different world now where, you know, like these quarterbacks, they're dropping back and passing. So your left tackle, your right tackle, your inside interior, like you got to really keep the guys away from the quarterback. So we have to figure out ways to, you know, change it up. Because, like, realistically, if you're doing something 50 plays against Chris Jones or 50 plays against Myles Garrett, like it's unrealistic for them to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and them not win. Like, one, they're usually the better athlete, and two, you have to have a change up like a curveball in baseball. Like, if a pitcher throws a speedball every pitch, it's a home run. Like, these guys are pros. But yeah, it's a change up. I call it the ice pick. But, you know, that chop move is something that I'm taking very, very serious. And I enjoy doing it because the defensive ends hate it and they hate Snow for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you give ice pick, giving them a face full of it, especially up there in Buffalo, is a beautiful move. And all the defensive end and pass rushers talk about having a game plan and having multiple tools and multiple clubs in their bag. I think you're the first offensive lineman that I've heard that, like, yeah, I need multiple tools as well. Let's talk about you guys cheating, though, offensive linemen, jumping off sides every single play. You want the opposite way. I feel like you want the opposite way. The whole conversation was these tackles are getting off the ball, they're in the backfield, their head's got to break the ass. And then you, like, first week, whenever that was a conversation, you were, like, in front of the center, actually. You were like, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, exactly. So that was on purpose, obviously.
Pat, yeah, bro. I be playing games, bro. I enjoy to push the button, and I definitely made it a point to line up extremely close to the line of scrimmage where I could have been offsides my way, and I was kind of in front of the center's, like, the ball. And, you know, I just took it to a greater point to say, hey, look, I'm going to line up way, way, way ahead, and I'm still going to beat you into your spot. Because, like, you know, one, I'm kind of, like, at the point where I just want to demand the right and respect, and I'm just pressing that button.
Hey, you mentioned
I love that. We want to let you know we love your game, brother. We love your game. Go ahead,
I appreciate
AJ.
you, brother.
Yeah, sorry for stepping on you there, Pat. So you're the swipe, the ice pick, as you call it. You said if you don't execute it right, you end up in the quarterback's lap. So what is the risk reward for you there? Because every time you use it, it looks like it works to us. It's a thing of beauty how violent it is too. So like Pat's taking a drop there. If you go to swipe and you don't get it, what happens? They bowl you right into the quarterback.
they could bull you right in the quarterback because like when you chop down, like you kind of lose all of your base, and coaches teach you to have your base in your lower half and to be well grounded. But like when you go to attempt to chop down, you have to kind of retreat. You have to retreat to get the hand off you, or sometimes you have to kind of move your body in a different way just to get their hands in a different feeling so you can swipe them down. But with the wrestling that I'm doing, I was talking to Gable, and he's having a ball. But I used it to my advantage. Like Gable, the Olympic wrestler, was here in camp, so I'm trying to ask him, like, bro, what can I do? What do you feel when you snatch down? What are you doing when you shoot? And your takedown and techniques, and I'm just picking and choosing, and then I train like fighting in the off season, so I have a good feeling of when people's pushing here to try to bait you, and I just use it against them. But yes, when your base comes from underneath you, it is a vulnerable position. But you got to be confident. Like you have to be confident in what you're doing.
Hey, they're saying that offensive line numbers are dwindling, and I think there's been numerous people that have come out and said, like, hey, if you're a big person, there's opportunity in football at the offensive line position, like younger kids, like, hey, there's opportunity to get in there. Do you think wrestling, off of what you just said, what do you think is like the best indicator that somebody could be a good offensive lineman? Is it like agility? Is it athletic? What do you think is like why do you think you've had so much success? Do you think it is the wrestling and the balance, or what is it?
It's balance, bro. It is definitely balance. You have to be aware of your body, right? Because we're all bigger guys, but you have to be aware of what you can and cannot do. Like I am an extreme sportist. Like I really am. I push it to the limit. Like from snowboarding to longboarding to scootering to rollerblades to ice skating to even doing gymnastics class with the kids. Like everything I take into consideration and I put it into one ball so I could throw my snowball effect. So
you're doing a backflip out there? You got a backflip out there, round off backflip?
I actually do. And there's pictures of it, and I do those before practice on Fridays, and they put those and they put we call it the cut bag, but when you run and you cut and when you lay out flat so you don't hit the ground, Yes, I do backflips on those on usually Fridays or Thursday afternoons. But
what are your dims? What are height and weight here? What are we?
Huh?
What is your height and weight?
Pat, I think it could be I'm 6'4", 6'5" on a great day, and on a good day, I'm probably about 340, 342, 338, depending on what I eat.
6'5", 348. Okay, doing a fucking backflip. Yeah, everybody's creative.
Trying my best, man.
Yeah, let's find those guys, those kids. Yeah, a lot of those kids exist. Forget everything I just asked.
Freak athletes, brother.
Yeah, exactly. AP Tone has a question for you, Dion.
Yeah, Dion. We talk about getting healthy at the right time and staying healthy for the playoff run. You guys are getting Matt Milano back, who is just awesome, and he hasn't played in a long time. What's it like going to be getting Matt back on the field?
Bruh, first of all, nice freaking hat.
Thank you.
When I see this hat, bro, I'm like, lock them doors and turn them lights. But having Milano back, it's a good feeling. But everything is energy, everything is confidence, and when you get one of your guardians back and one of your knights, it's a positive feeling. Like when you're going out to practice or when he's on the football field. And I don't play in defense, so I don't know what it is like when he's actually on the football field, but I know of his presence when he's around and suited up, and it's a confident thing because it's just like having all of your hitters. All of your hitters are here and we're healthy and we're there. It can only put you in the right spirit. And Milano is definitely one of those guys. He's been here, and with me, we got drafted together for 8 years. And having him around, it just brings up that confidence of, what? We have our best punch for whatever we're about to go out and do on Sunday, Thursday, or Monday night.
Let's talk about you guys on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, in America, Europe. I think Australia's coming, whenever you guys. Yeah. This team is a new iteration of this Buffalo Bills team. Do you feel that way? And what are the vibes like with this team versus maybe previous teams of Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, we are definitely our best version of ourselves. This is the best football team that I've been on. And previous years, we've had great players too. Like, and everybody wants to compare it to how is it now not having Diggs? How is it now not having some of those big names? But with the team that we have now, it's more guys that don't really have that overall golden star. So, it seems like everybody is not fighting for that royalty, but, everybody has a giant chip on their shoulder because they haven't crossed that threshold. And you've been on teams, and when guys are at that point of tipping over and knocking those Jenga chips down, it's literally at that point now where it's like we have a bunch of guys that are like right at that verge. Like, all right, he could get paid. All right, he could be the highest paid. Okay, he could be a leader in this. And, everybody is kind of fighting. And at that point, everybody's at that level of jumping off of that cliff onto the other side. And when you have a team full of those guys and not just, 1, 2, or 3, it's a different vibe because everybody's hungry. Everybody's chewing at that bone. There's only one piece and people are eating.
That's what I was trying to say. A hungry, talented team is obviously the most dangerous. But you guys have a culture, too, it feels like. It feels like there's a culture already very much in play. You bring Micah back, I think, just like within the last couple of days back into the building. Is there a... Micah what?
Micah just walked out of the cafeteria. What up, bro? Yeah.
Hey, what up, E-Ro? Hey, good to see you, E-Ro. Good to see you, E-Ro.
Sorry.
Micah coming back, though. The culture, easy? You guys already have the culture in place of what a Buffalo Bill is and what that building is like, or no?
Yeah, it's forming, Pat. It's definitely forming. I think the formula and the aura of what it is now, we're depending on the big guys. The big guys have to be right. The big guys have to play right. When you get late into the season, November, December, January, February, you have to be very, very good up front on both sides of the football. We have to keep Josh clean. Everybody's bodies are getting achy. You're getting through the last pinch of the season. And it's more of I want to say run, but I don't really think so. So I don't know. Like now, even thinking about it, I don't really know because, Josh is throwing it. Guys are catching it. But, every day and every week, the mindset is we have to lean up on the big guys to win a football game. So the pressure is on us.
That's football, isn't it, Dion? Isn't it always going to be football? That's why the In the Trenches segment happens with AQ, because it's like the teams that have a good offensive line are going to be the teams that are around in the end. That's always been football,
Absolutely.
I feel like.
That's always that. Yep. And that's the real deal because it's a one-on-one game and your five, like up front, have to be at their best to have a chance, just a chance, because your running back has to take the pressure off the QB and the QB has to be able to stand back there and pass. But you are correct.
And James and Ray are insane, let alone Josh Allen being able to run whenever he wants. It's like you guys have so many weapons and so many powerful positions, feels like.
No, for sure. Yeah, Ray had came on board, young guy. Physical. I was very, very shocked. I was very, very shocked of how physical he is. And, Cook just consistently gets better every year. And the beautiful thing is that he has a brother that played and has done it. So now he's, he always has that chip of, I want to be better. And that's what we see week in and week out.
Connor has a question for you, Dion.
Yeah, Dion, I'm a Patriots fan, so talking to you really sucks because all the Bills fans are cool. Or Bills players are cool as shit, so it really does blow. One of the coolest Bills players that we've seen on social media is Mac Hollins. Can you just explain kind of what Mac Hollins is all about? We saw him walk into the game, and he had no shoes on, and he was wearing a mad scientist costume. Then we've heard he also doesn't use utensils. So are you walking into the building and he's eating eggs with, his hands and shit? Or what is this?
Bro,
is he the most interesting guy ever?
Bro, he is a unique type of dude, bro. Like I'm telling you, he will literally not wear shoes anywhere. Right? You're talking about the bathroom, you're talking about the shower, you're talking about walking to practice, you're talking about walking into a game, and it's just like, dog, you're taking it too far. But if that's you, we accept it. And then two, with the mad scientist thing, it's just like, dude, bro, you are let it out. Come on, dog, you are just a different type of dude. Look at this guy. I love him to death because we accept him, but I have never met somebody like Mac. He just continues to just be himself, and that's the beautiful part about Buffalo is we accept people for their true form. But you want to talk about a unique guy that you'll never understand? Mac Hollins is one of those guys that you will never figure out. Or he can come in here and eat a brownie and put like peanut butter on it, and then walk downstairs with his shoes off and drip some on his feet and take it and lick it and eat it. Like, come on, dog. Like what you doing?
Okay. Yeah, it's your answer when he said sometimes we think he takes it a little bit too far, but it's cool. We accept you. The amount of really okay. Yeah, all right. We love it. We love it. We love what you're doing. This
like, come
this
on, look, man. I got a science guy.
I think I like the grounding theory. You know, I've never done it myself, but just on frozen cement, I don't know if he's getting the proper grounding results. But hey, he played great ball. He played great football.
Hey, Pat,
the guy's making
It's not even the cold ground. It's the salt, bro. It's the salt. The salt is eating his feet alive. Right. Oh my God! It's probably cutting them up and making them. Yeah, but yeah, man, it's a different vibe.
He's good at fixing garages, though. AJ sent me a video from his Instagram. He put some Garage D40, not WD-40, Garage D40 on one of the tracks on the garage, and he said, this is how you fix it. And when I got done, I was like, he literally just did a how-to video on how to fix a garage. I love it. Is he just a handyman, too? He's fixing a building? What? He's just in everything. He's everything.
So he's a helper. but he's like a helper, man. So like, look at him. Yep. Like, I love it to death, bro. Yep. He is Bob the Builder, bro. Mac the Builder. Put some WD-40 on it and keep it going.
Hey, Dion, before we let you go, we have to talk about why we wanted to have you on. Congrats on Walter Payton Man of the Year. Yeah, man. Okay, that's a big ordeal, obviously. Massive respect, especially in that Buffalo community, and how much that Bills team is synonymous with the town. Walter Payton Man of the Year, I don't know how many times you've been nominated from the Buffalo Bills. Is this first time? Third time. You're a dog. Thank you for representing the NFL in a beautiful fashion. We would like to say that. And what does this mean every time you kind of win this award? How do you view it at this point?
It's a beautiful thing. First of all, it's one of my biggest honors. It's one of the biggest honors that I could ever receive, because it can't be bought, it can't be faked, and it comes from pure heart and pure love, right? Like, every year you have a different football team, right? So I have different teammates, I have different people, and Walter Payton Man of the Year is voted by your peers. It's voted by the building. It's voted by the management and the community. And for what I take the most of it is every year my teammates come in, some that don't know me, some that just see of what they see of me, and it takes a season for them to really understand who you truly are, and for them to put my name down on a piece of paper, and say, Dahn is doing right in his community. I'm gonna put his name down. That is a big honor that I'm accepted and loved by my peers, and I'm leading in the right way for the community and for this Buffalo Bills organization, because it's an honor to be in the league, and it's an honor to be in a position to lead, and I'm truly blessed in that fourth, and I'm thankful every day. And Pat, with being a lineman, right, and with being a lineman, we don't really get what the quarterback or the running back or the receivers or what I call of the skinnies get, and this is something that I am thankful for, and I'm thankful to lead in the right way.
I'll tell you what, you fats are good people too, bub. You fats are good people.
Skinny and fats, huh? Clap it up for the fats, man. Yo, you're one of a kind, bro. This guy, bro.
We appreciate you, dude. Yeah. We appreciate you being a good human, though, man. Because the negativity hogs publicity, okay? So whenever there's good, I feel like we need to put a spotlight on it, and you're certainly that. We appreciate the hell out of you, man.
Thank you, brother. For real. The real deal, man. It's an honor. It truly is.
You can come on anytime you want to. Come on anytime you want. So. Literally. Because, we have 3 hours to fill every fucking day. So anytime you just want to come on in, you have an open invitation, brother.
Let's shoot the shit. I'm with it, bro. I appreciate that.
You were at that slap fest. You were at that slap fest that we were at when that one lady knocked out that other lady, and Travis Scott was there. Remember, Travis did his stand-up?
Yep.
That is one of the most insane things I've ever... Have you been to numerous ones of those?
Yes, man. They are one of a kind. You know, I am a Dana fan, and I, still kind of can't believe that people just stand up there and slap each other. But
Yeah, me neither.
it's entertaining. It's entertaining, and this is an entertainment world. But the fact that people could stand there and take a hit like that and stand there and just throw another one, it's a tip my hat, because I know I ain't standing there and getting slapped. I'm gonna sit right there in the stands, eat a burger, have a drink, and vibe out.
Yeah, and also if you do get smacked in the mouth, you're gonna chop those hands down and
I'm chopping them down right
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
they get to my face. You know what I'm saying? And fall on them.
All right, we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen,
There it
Dion
is.
Dawkins, you're the man.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
The best.
He's so good at football.
Yeah.
So athletic. Does backflips.
Yeah, that's the thing that's not fair. Like, say you're a young kid and you want to be a lineman in the NFL, and you see this guy. Okay, cool. The guy can do backflips. he said he skateboard, snowboard, longboard,
Ice skate.
He just can do it all. He has great feet, obviously. That's another huge thing for offensive linemen. All the great linemen have really good feet.
Is he
Probably
still
played
on?
basketball, everything.
Is he still
still
on
there?
or is he gone?
He's gone.
Yeah, let's call him back. Zito reminded me. So Bone, Bone in our office.
Yeah, D-Bone.
Incredible graphics maker. Phenomenal. This guy, football guy, D3 left tackle. Okay, national champion. Congrats to him. He has thin feet. He's a left tackle. He has very thin feet. And I genuinely asked, was that the big separator you think between D-Bone and making D-Bone pretty athletic? He's got a good jumper, great jumper. Feels like he's got good feet. He feels like he's nimble, but he's got thin feet. I feel like that's a disadvantage. Yeah. I've never met somebody with thin feet, first of all. That's the first person I met with thin feet. Then the fact that he was an offensive lineman, I was like mind blown. I just assume you want to have fat ass feet. You would like to more land. You'd like to be grounded a little bit more. I never met somebody. He's the first one. He's got these nice new boots.
Ooh.
Nice new boots.
Great boots.
These things look like a canoe. Canoe though. It is a thing of beauty. Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, 3-time Pro Bowler Dion Dawkins. Hey, Dion. Quick question. I apologize.
Great jacket.
Do you have fat feet or thin feet? Do you know?
I got thinner, medium. I'll say medium. I'm right in the middle, man.
Athletic.
You see?
Okay. Yeah, but those are kind of stretching a little bit out there. I have those pair of shoes. Your toes.
It's the snow. It's the snow. It's the hot and cold. Contrast.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Don't do backflips out there. Don't do backflips.
No. I'm off that. Super Bowl.
Yeah, man, ladies and
Super Bowl.
gentlemen, Dion.
We win that. I'm flipping. Yeah.
Yeah, amen. Good luck out there, Dion. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Dion Dawkins.
Yeah, Dion.
Beautiful facility there. Did you see that shit? That looked like the inside of a mall.
That was sweet.
All these
So he's
facilities.
got medium-sized feet. His feet look fatter than D-Bone's, but I guess that was a false theory.
They did.
That was
a false theory.
perspective thing from the camera.
Shout out to DoorDash, by the way. Shout out.
Thank you, DoorDash.
Thank you, DoorDash. Love you, DoorDash.
I think DoorDash is down here. I think I saw a big DoorDash thing in the convention because, tomorrow's game day is down here in the convention center. And at the beginning of game day, it's not as packed. I don't think as many people get in. But then as the day rolls on, as game day rolls on, it's a fun zone. What is that? Is that a super fun zone? What is it?
Yeah, that place.
It's like a super fun
like a
zone.
baseball
College
diamond in
experience.
Yeah, it's like I think
the
it's
College
the
Football Hall of
SEC.
Fame is there. Is it close to that? Or no?
It's I don't know how close I think it's in the area here, but this convention center, because I think it's connected. You can walk through it. There's a thing, but the room that we're in the convention center, they have looks like they have one of the pitching machines. It's like a full-on experience that's happening there. And then game day is right at the point of it. So as that fills up, which it does, you get some electrifying experience in there tomorrow. Should be good. Timothy Chalamet.
Hell yeah. Lisan Al-Gaib.
Al-Gaib.
Okay, so I didn't know who he was. This guy's a big deal. I think people are real jacked up about him being on College Game Day. I think a lot of people who didn't know who he was were very confused on how he's the guy. I guess he's a big fan of College Game Day. He's a big college football, big College Game Day fan.
Dog.
Where would I know him from, Con Man?
Lisan Al-Gaib is from Dune. He's a big Dune guy, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. Recently, he did the younger Willy Wonka. I don't know if you saw that at all, but the Dune movies, I would say, are his bigger projects as of recently. You probably know too. What else has he been in?
No, yeah, I don't think he's probably been in anything you've seen. He's going to be Bob Dylan in a movie coming out. That's getting a lot of steam. People saying he might, win an Oscar for that. But yeah, Dune.
Hey, that was good. He did good for that, right? Like,
yeah.
aren't they saying he did like a good job of being Bob Dylan?
Yeah, a lot of people telling him like, hey, you can't do that. Like his voice is too distinct. Like this could be really, really bad. And then they heard him like playing the guitar and singing because he did all the songs himself, and they're like, holy shit, like that's incredible. So
is Timothy on a
Yes.
rocket ship right now?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
What an honor! I can't wait to meet him tomorrow. I think he's going to be part of the kicking event. I think he's going to be part of the kicking seg.
Is he going to kick?
I think so. I don't think he's kicking, but I think he just kind of wanted to hang out.
Can you get
He's like,
Thamel?
can I come out?
Sorry, can you get Thamel in the batting cage? Just hit me. If you have a batting cage, put a helmet on. What Thamel will take a few cuts.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with it. We're in Pete Thamel season right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We are in Pete Thamel season right now with the coaching openings and then fines happening last week and then, who's in, who's out, championship games, playoff implications, future of it. We are currently, welcome to it, Pete Thamel season. We are in it. So yes, I agree. I love Pete Thamel. I love the way his brain operates. I love the way he distributes information, and we're in the middle of it. And I'm excited for him to maybe, tip off who's going to be the West Virginia coach, maybe.
Ooh.
When do you think we find that out?
I'm not sure.
Tonight.
I'm not sure.
So
maybe
tonight,
next
Rod
week?
plays tonight, right? So he can't accept it yet.
And he's got a bowl game.
Hey, I don't know. So I've stayed out of it. I've tried my best to stay out of it completely, even though, certainly would like to know what's going on. And a lot of people who want the job have reached out to me to say, like, hey, if I get job, will you support me, pretty much? And that's a weird thing to receive. I want to let that be known. I do not think I deserve that type of access or question from a lot of people. That's why whenever I say, like, hey, a lot of people want this job, it's like, I think with the way jobs are working out right now, like there's not a lot of jobs up right now. And with the way people are watching this college football playoff, a lot of the people from our generation or around our generation, they've seen West Virginia be like number one in the country, number two in the country. They've seen like ratings be bananas for West Virginia football. They played NCAA 2K with Pat White and Steve, so they know the brand of West Virginia. So there's a lot of coaches that I think are being sought after by a lot of big-time jobs, or will be when the next big-time job opens up. Don't break the desk. There is a lot of that happen. Those people all, like, I think the West Virginia job is very, very, very desirable. And even against everybody else that's kind of up. And Bill Belichick didn't interview for the West Virginia job, but he said to me the other day, I'll talk to you about that whenever I said, do you want to coach at West Virginia? I should have followed up. I guess I should have. Well, I should have followed up.
If he interviewed for North Carolina, he would definitely interview for West Virginia.
Well, there's people, though, out there that are like, the UNC job is better than a West Virginia job. And it's like,
can you win your conference? You can win the conference if you're at West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. And you can get in the college football playoff.
Yes.
And you have a fan base that is a football fan base, even though there is good basketball, which shout out to Ren Baker getting that hiring right. Okay, so it's like, I think both these jobs, obviously good places. UNC, desirable spot, beautiful colors in North Carolina. You can do that whole thing, but it's like, everybody that I've heard from that wants the job is like, this is where we will turn down other job opportunities to coach at West Virginia. It's like, that's great to hear. Now, I can't publicly promote anybody now because I got, so many conversations that are happening. But I've been out of it. I'm just letting Ren know, hey, this person reached out to me. I don't know if you know. Obviously, you do. Okay, sweet. Good luck out there. He's casting a wide net. I think he's making some decisions. He knows that this is going to be it for him. This is a big deal for him because he could have done the easy thing and hired an independent counsel to do it. So then he could point blame at them. But instead, he's like, this is me. I know this is me. 46 years old. I mean, you're talking about getting every other hiring right. I trust him. I appreciate him. And I know there's a lot of very, very, very good football coaches that want that job. So I'm pumped about it. So good luck to the Iowa State and Arizona State folks. Okay?
Yeah.
Good luck.
Enjoy while you have it.
Guess who's coming back? It's a flying WV, baby. And I can't wait for it.
I got people.
Thank you so much.
Pat, I got people reaching out to me to get to you that want the job.
Yeah, you did act as a liaison there, so I appreciate you doing that. Thank you for doing that.
Well,
the general's going to be an unbelievable coach.
Yeah, Bob will throw his hat in. It was not Bob. Bob hasn't reached out yet, but Bob will throw his hat in the ring.
Bobby's trying to play.
There's been numerous people that I thought there's been a lot of people that have reached out to me that I thought would be like no, wouldn't want the West Virginia job. You're not going to save and wait for, like Ben Johnson. Like Ben Johnson, everything he said about a job that I take is going to have these stipulations. It's like, that's because Ben Johnson's got options, and Ben has turned things down. He's proven to be a good coach, and we all assume he's going to be a great head coach when he has to run it. But it's like a lot of people that I think have turned down a lot of other opportunities are like, nah, we will for West Virginia. We got a chance. And it's because of, to your point, you win the Big 12, you're in the playoff. And once you get in the playoff, anything, you just need to win 3 games. You win the Big 12, you need to win 3 games. You need to have a team show up. It's like you can do a lot of shit with the opportunity in the road that's currently there with the 12-team playoff. And I'm excited for Ren to do his thing. But I think next week sometime probably get an answer, probably, if I had to guess.
Okay.
From what I've been told.
Love that.
Desirable job. It's a good thing. It's a good issue for them.
Great. Now, it sucks for Ren. It sucks for Ren because he's got to go through all of it. And I couldn't even imagine the amount of this.
What would suck worse, though, is if you're reaching out and people are like, nah, I'm good. People just won't take your calls. Like, what if you're trying to interview people and they won't even take your call?
Agreed. That would be much, much worse. And I assume that's happening in some places. Shout out to Purdue.
Yeah.
That is, Purdue's going to have to get it right. And I don't know how many people are going to want that job. And I think Purdue can get it right. Shout out to Purdue. Got nothing but respect for Purdue. But with what's going on in Indiana University, at this exact time, it's going to be tough to pull from the same recruiting pool. Not that Purdue and IU are the same, but you get it. Pretty much. And that's going to be a tough one to get. I think that's going to be a tough one to turn around, but somebody might be able to do it. Who knows? Hopefully West Virginia is able to find somebody that gets us back into national contention, national conversation, and I'm lucky to be a small part of it all. AJ, thank you for making the trip. Gumpy, come on over here, brother. Boys, great work this week up there.
Hell yeah, brother.
Great work up there, boys. It was an honor to settle up next to you guys.
An honor.
Always.
And a privilege.
Yes. Hey, Gump.
You see Gumpy down here?
Hell
Looks good.
Good to see you, boys.
Did Gump play some good music on the way there today?
Yeah, I did, actually. Hawk House Bangers is undefeated. I hate to say it, AJ. It is good.
Gump, I've come around. You used to only play like the underground stuff that was terrible. Now you actually play some hits, so thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep everybody happy here.
Yeah, he's gone the complete opposite direction. Instead of the brand new crop, and he's just rolling the dice trying to sell us on it, he's going old school. He's going back into the catalog. Good. And he kind of has each generation represented in there, but it's only bangers, and it's a lot of bangers. And there's songs that pop up there you haven't heard 10, 15 years, and it's like, Gumpy.
I will remove any qualms. I will remove. Connor had a qualm yesterday. It's out of the playlist.
Yeah, Red Shit. I think that's the name of the song.
He didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
What was it?
It's called Red. Pat didn't like a song the other day. It's out. You let me know you don't like it. It can be removed.
There was crop the other day when I walked in.
It's gone.
It was crop when I walked in.
Yeah.
Trial and error.
Yeah, you'll swing and miss sometimes.
You've been swinging a hot bat.
No.
You've been swinging a hot bat. So he had a double-double from Timmy's. Got him feeling a little wiry. Got to feel a little wired.
Tried to warn you guys about the double-double.
What was that Canadian rapper's name that I just learned of yesterday?
Oh, man. I looked at it
right.
Drake.
He's awesome.
Snow.
It's not Drake. He actually takes a shot at Drake in one of his songs. So he is on a trip to get to 1 million followers, and he's been Canadianizing American songs. And I'll tell you what, it is.
It's awesome.
What do you say, Big Hoser with the beat, bud?
Hopped off the plane at Halifax with a dream in a hockey bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cross-checked, but the refs weren't watching. Hey, this is the guy. Big Hoser, not the beat, bud. Dark too soon outside getting no sun. Put a shot high off the crossbar. Post run, can't win them all. So I'm heading on a Tim's run. This guy, awesome, dude. Full Hoser out there.
Yeah,
sending it. I'd say he's a rig, a unit, a weapon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He needs to be, more people need to listen to his songs, especially people that say they're from Canada and don't understand the references in there.
East Coast, different. I told you, different world. East Coast, West Coast, Canada, completely different.
Big Hoser on the beat, bud.
Yeah, that's East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Halifax.
Purple.
Graphic design crew, good work this week, boys.
Good work, boys.
Skinny Feet D-Bone, Dirty, Mitt, good work, boys.
What's up, boys?
Big Talk, great work, Talk.
Work.
Way to go, Talk.
The Coffee Bandit.
Yeah, hey, Talk, stop spilling coffee all over the place, pal. Okay, somebody else will pick it up for sure, but you could.
I saw him cleaning it up. I saw him wiping it down.
Yeah, today, but the past few days, there's been some spills, and we're like, what is this? And then yesterday around 6:30, 6 o'clock, we licked it up, kind of smelt it, and it was like, okay, it's coffee. And then we saw Talk Today spill all that fucking coffee right where the previous spills have been.
He is a walking spill.
We thought it was BRC Bill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bingo.
No, he doesn't
That's
waste
what
a
we
drop.
immediately-
He doesn't waste a drop of that.
Barista Bill's not wasting any of
Yeah,
that.
BRC Bill.
Talk was being
Yeah, that
super
is
weird today.
Who, Bill?
No. Talk.
Well, that's because Talk knows that he's been spilling coffee and people been almost getting a banana on the ground like it's Super Mario and falling all over the place. He'll get right. That's what Talk does. Talk gets right.
He does.
That's all he's ever done. All right, boys. It's an honor to be here. Thank you to everybody that set this thing up here. Thank you to the hospitality from the SEC. I got to go learn some stuff for the program tomorrow, and what an honor it is to be a part of all of this. Boys, you're the best. It's already December 6th.
Wow.
Crazy.
Paul Revere's Midnight Ride tomorrow.
1 month till AJ's birthday.
You're right.
On no, is it? On the
Is that December or is it?
I forgot to. Happy
think
Little
it's
Santa,
April.
boys.
Oh,
I
happy
forgot.
little Santa.
Happy little Santa.
Happy
Little Santa.
I hope you left your plates out.
We did.
Yeah, big hoser on the beat, bud. Happy little Santa.
Happy little Santa.
What does this mean? What does this mean?
You just get like a little present before Christmas. It's a little Santa.
An
Like
appetizer.
some
Yeah, you're just trying to be gracious with the people you love.
like a yo-yo would be a little.
A T-shirt, some socks,
It has to be
Perhaps
something you
something.
can get in a stocking.
Like gloves, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Little Santa's got a big bag.
Yeah, like those ones Wiley was wearing, like it was minus 20 degrees Celsius.
That was a shot across the bow at a guy named John Wiley. He was trying to offer up gloves to us when we walked in today. And we're like,
Are they pumping cold air in there or something? Like what? What do you mean? What's
They
going
are
on?
right now.
I think they're opening up a
Yeah.
tunnel that goes outside and it just blows right in. Remember, this whole city is like underground connected. You know, like there's all those underground things, and I think it's one of those. But we got to get the hell out of here. They got to do those tests. AJ, great work today. Thank you for traveling, boys. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night.
Not Paul
Hell yeah.
Revere. Pearl Harbor's tomorrow.
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
gonna
that
say.
anniversary.
Yes.
That's it. I knew it was something.
That started something
Different coast.
that then inspired us all to know that even when the worst things imaginable could happen, there are heroes that walk amongst us, and we learned of the greatest generation. And for that, we will forever be thankful, even though we'll never forget those fine people out there.
Well said.
Well said.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Never ever forget that. We're in this thing together. Team on me, game day, 9 a.m. Eastern time from the SEC Championship. I believe we got commissioners from multiple conferences coming on. Multiple coaches maybe joining us at the same damn time.
Hell yeah.
Timothy
Chalamet.
Chalamet.
There we go.
join us.
Timmy Shao.
Yes, we shall. Enjoy it all. Team on me, team on three. I love you, boys.
Love two.
Love you too.
1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.